John, say something.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Yeah, you're good. You're always good. We don't have to worry about John's levels.
Voice is crazy.
No, it's wild. By the way, John, did you get an email yesterday from European Wax?
I don't think so.
All right, you better check.
What'd you do?
Well,
Oh,
I put you as a referral because your boy got his nose. I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but I got my nose waxed.
Those of you that can't see, your nostrils
Yeah.
are
Cleaned
remarkably
me
clear.
out. Oh my god! It was actually really good.
Oh, yeah?
Did you see the Instagram video of I think it's like a black guy and his girlfriend takes him to get waxed and the lady does his nose and
Was he screaming?
Dude, he was laughing but crying at the same time. When we're done, I'm going to show it to you.
You have to show me.
It's hilarious. I'm like, oh, so now you said that? That's all I think of.
I gotta be honest with you though. So I've been wanting to go to European Wax because I buzz my arms and I buzz my legs.
Okay.
And I'm always told, wax it because it'll last longer.
It does.
And it'll actually. Oh, are you a pro?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, he's a
Yeah,
pro.
there you go.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
yeah.
I didn't even know.
Arms, chest, back.
Oh, I thought
legs.
I thought that was just your natural boyish glow.
No, man. I just turned 40, man. Fucking hair grows like wildfire.
Stop. You don't grow.
Yeah.
You're not 40. That's
Yeah.
enough of that. I know he was lying to me for the video and everything.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I don't appreciate you lying to me. I just want you to know that off the bat.
Him and I grew up together.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's a difference. It's a difference maker.
Yeah. So where do you go?
I go to a place out in Queens. Somebody I used to know does it. So,
Okay, cool, cool.
Good friend of mine.
Good.
But I experienced where I was going into. I would go to like the random nail salons and like I'd get it done there, and then I was finding out I was breaking out a lot. So then an ex of mine told me, she was like, well, that's because they're using crappy like wax, and the way they're doing it is like just horrible. Like to the point where I think I was going to Vegas. I was going to Vegas with one of my exes for like, we were out there. We were going out there for like 5 days. So, I mean, I was intense. I mean, I was probably the shredded. I was just shredded. I was just like, listen, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to be out there 5 days. I'm gonna look great. So I go to this place and I'm like, you know what? I want to wax everything. And the ladies, got these little Asian ladies, and now I'm friggin' 6'2", I'm friggin' jacked, and I'm walking in there.
They get one for each leg, one for each arm.
I had 4 of them in there, and they were doing one leg, an arm. The legs and the arms were fine. I was fine with that. They got to my back and my chest, and I guess that's where my sensitive areas are. And once they did it, like 2 days later, I started breaking out, and I was like, what the hell? I'm going to Vegas soon, So now I'm scrambling. I'm doing freaking Noxzema all over my body.
Yeah,
I'm
trying to exfoliate.
I'm trying to make
Anything.
sure, because who wants to be the guy in Vegas, at the pool party? Now I think we had liquid pool party set up, Marquee Day Club. So I didn't want to be that guy that just looked like I was bumpy. I broke out. So I talked to a friend of mine, and she was like, yeah, you gotta go to a high class place because they use better wax.
Oh,
Like
it's all about the wax.
So
Yeah.
they're using the wax.
Yeah.
They were just putting fly traps on them, ripping it off.
Man, it was it was to the point where like I guess the cheap glue roller that they were putting on me hurt more than the actual putting the paper and ripping the
I'm
ripping
sure
the hair
by the time
off.
it hardens and
I
dries.
was like, you guys didn't
Yeah.
even need to do that. You could have probably just did that on my whole body, and that would have been good. But yeah, I mean, it's an experience, but you gotta
get Manscaped. You gotta
There you go.
keep it clean, man.
Yeah.
My buddy who works
You
down
gotta
the
tame
hall.
the beast.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You gotta tame the beast.
Tame the beast, send the check.
Yeah.
I got something for you, by the way.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
We're gonna give you the bar of soap over there because they sent us all the products, and I got to re-talk to them about getting some more. I want to get sample packs. I just
Oh,
want to start.
man.
I want to toss them out like Oprah when she was tossing
You
out
get nut
keys.
butter, and you get nut butter, and you get nut butter.
The Tingle little packet you gave me the last time. Oh my God, man. I was floating. I went home, I'm taking a shower. I'm like, you know what? And I have it in my shower. I'm like, let me try this. Let me see what Nick's talking about. So I put it on. I'm like, whoa.
You started doing.
I'm sitting in the shower. I'm like, whoa, what's
Oh,
going
baby.
on, man? I was like, look, I didn't have anybody to go share my experience with, but I was like, I was floating all day. I was like, wow, this is great, man. So I'll definitely take a bar.
Oh, they're
definitely.
unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Everything that they're doing is unbelievable. So I want to get some sample packs with them so I can just start tossing them out at the gym and shit.
Before we get off topic with the Tame the Beast, have you ever seen when somebody mails something to you, like the cards where you open it up and it makes like it starts singing to
Oh,
you?
yes.
The birthday cards.
Yeah.
they have a box where if you open the box, it roars at you. And one of my clients, she ordered from Tame the Beast to get something for Christmas for her husband.
Okay.
Right? And she goes, John, this thing scared the shit out of me. You didn't tell me it was going to roar when I opened it.
Oh, man.
Do you know how many people I know got Tame the Beast for Christmas? And I'm not just sitting here saying because we plugged it, but like, it's just such a fucking hysterical product at first, and then people use it. My cousin was over for Christmas Day. My cousin Mike was over, and he's, we're all drinking, chilling out, and he goes, "Yo, I gotta use the bathroom real quick." I said, "Hold on 1 second." So I go in the bathroom, and I put the nut butter on the counter, and I walk out, and I said, "By the way, I know you haven't tried it yet, but there is some nut butter on the counter if you're in the market to refresh yourself." He goes, "I think I'm going to try it." Goes in there, comes out 5 minutes later, goes, "Where can I buy it?"
This is the second time that I've heard you speak about the nut butter, so I think I may have to try some.
It's great,
Yeah, it's
man.
good.
I don't know. Oh, you know what? That's what we'll give you.
Yeah.
Because you got, what did you get? You got the soap already?
Yeah, I got the soap.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we got a thing of nut butter over there. We got a little bottle of it. We got the powder, we got the nut butter, and then we got the bar of soap. So I'll give you the nut butter because it's phenomenal.
All right,
It's life changing.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
But on the
So I'm gonna have Manscaped and
man,
nut
yeah,
butter
you're gonna
nuts.
be
Yeah.
perfectly. You look like a seal.
Oh man,
My man's gonna be so aerodynamic for this
yeah.
coming football season.
I'm gonna be floating.
Yo, but listen, I want to just say. So I asked my boy originally. I said, "Yo, I want to go try out getting my nose waxed." Every now and then, as a man, you get a little curly Q hitting you up, and you're like, "Oh God!" And you like rip it out with a tweezer or something like that.
Yeah.
So I said to him, he works down the hall. I said, "Yo, man, come get your nose waxed." I said, "This is a bonding experience between boys." He's like, "I can't do it. I can't do it." All right, whatever. I went. I'm sitting in the lobby. All the girls are laughing. I'm like, "Yo, you guys are all smirking, laughing. You guys know something that I don't." I said, "So you guys know I'm either going to be in pain or I'm going to love this shit." Went in there, dude, didn't hurt, didn't feel a thing. And I was just like, "Oh my God, I can breathe now."
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
That looks like it. I mean, I do the razor, like the machine to get the nose hairs, because I mean I got fucking nostrils like Puff the Magic Dragon here. So I mean, and like mine, when they grow in, you can see them. So I sit there and I'm like, oh. So
I'm telling you, dude,
Yeah.
go. I'm gonna send you the free
no
link.
thanks.
It's
No
free.
thanks. No
It's
thanks.
free.
I don't know.
What are you
man.
losing? All you gotta do is tip the girl.
I'm gonna show you the video that I saw, and I would definitely be that guy that's sitting there crying.
I promise you. Go to my girl. She was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I sent you a link. I sent
Yeah.
Supwolf. I sent Greg a link. He goes, "Where?" He goes, "When are we going together?" He's like, "I gotta get my chest done and I'm gonna get my nose done."
Maybe
Adonis is getting his eyebrows done. Yo, plugged. Plugged it up.
Okay, cool. Listen, I'm always down to try anything. You know?
Yeah.
really.
I'll do that.
Well, yeah, I
but,
feel like you keep yourself nice. You keep yourself ready to go.
I mean, listen.
Manscaped, proper training, everything.
ready to go for what? I don't know, but
Everything.
yeah,
Everything.
I mean, listen, you got me 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. I'd be like, yeah, I'm on the market. Let's go. But now it's just like, where am I going?
just
what,
always-
what am I really doing this for?
Always ready for a swim meet.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yo, that's hysterical.
And-
When I
second.
go to the gym, I'm ready. When I walk from the locker to the steam room, I want these guys to know that, hey, listen, like, oh, look at that guy, he's manscaped. I mean, that's as much as I'm gonna get.
Probably nut buttered up
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah.
We can tell he takes care of himself.
Did you guys smell that? I'm gonna tell you, I'm
Eucalyptus.
and then now where I work, so if you give me the nut butter, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it on my desk at work. So now you could
definitely.
imagine law enforcement people
I'm getting him the nut butter
like
now.
Oh,
coming
yeah.
around and seeing like, what's this nut butter about? Like what what? I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna put it on my desk, my cubicle. There we go.
Done.
Ooh. Oh man.
No excuses.
Ah,
There's no forgetting it. Nothing. You got it.
commando all day now.
My man is ready.
Oh man.
I say, listen, this is my go-to motto. My nickname may be Nicky Rizzles, but after a shower and I nut butter up, my nickname is Silky Johnson.
I like that. That's a good one. All right, yeah, we're gonna see.
You can put everybody on at Rikers.
I'm just gonna put
Yeah.
it on. I'm just gonna leave it on my desk. Now, see, in where I work, so I'm in an office. I'm in a suite where I'm part of the intelligence unit for IAB, basically for corrections, and we work closely with the attorneys. So basically, if we get cases, we take it right to the attorneys who may be a cubicle away. So it's an office space,
Close quarter.
Right.
So I'm just gonna leave this on my desk. And I'm gonna video. If somebody comes up and asks me a question, I mean, I may tell them I'm recording them or not, but I'm gonna record a conversation about Nut butter.
I'm telling you, man.
Do it, man.
I'm gonna see how it goes,
Dude.
I'm pumped for that.
It's gonna go over well. I promise.
Yeah.
You gotta put a
Okay.
pair of those. You ever see the testicles that hang on the back of the cars?
Oh,
You gotta put just a pair of those right next to it.
Right underneath it. Like, so do we lotion these or are these for people?
It's practice.
Yeah,
It's for practice.
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe it'll give me some action. I don't know.
You never know,
know,
man.
yeah.
Listen, they got the edible one.
Yeah. Oh god.
The flavored one.
Oh man.
So not only are you going to be silky, but it's flavored for the significant other.
Oh man. Okay, we'll see. Hopefully, you guys will give me some good business at work. Maybe
Come on.
I'll start.
Definitely.
I'll come in and there'll be nut butter on everybody's desk. You know.
Hey, right?
Even the women, they'll have nut butter on their
I
desk.
never,
Be
never
like,
know.
"Hey,
We
listen,
got
I brought
we
this
got
home."
we got to tell them to formulate the women's line.
Oh yeah.
Well, they get the edible ones.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is cool, man. This is cool. This is definitely something new, game changer. But I still don't know about the waxing of the nose, man. That's just.
You're gonna go.
I mean,
You're gonna get a free
I mean,
link, and you're gonna wind up going. I'm telling you.
I probably will.
It's great.
I probably will. Listen, my Fridays are my day off, so my Fridays are spent haircut, which I don't have hair, you know. So it's really a haircut, and I go and get my feet done, my nails done. Like that's my man day.
You got it, man.
You know, that's my man day. So I think adding this stuff in will just. My Fridays are going to be longer. My Manscaped Fridays are going to be
It's
longer
gonna hit you
now.
over that next level.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be in the shower for at least another 20 minutes. You know, it's not like I have a lot to wash anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm going to try it. I mean, I may leave here and go try it right now.
Could you imagine on the way out?
You know, I'm going to go to the gym after. So I'm going to go to the gym. Maybe I'll even throw it on in the eucalyptus steam room. You
Listen,
know?
man.
Get these guys going.
Whatever you could do. Eucalyptus steam room. Do you go to Equinox?
No, I'm in Lifetime in Garden City.
Oh, I was gonna say Equinox has the best eucalyptus frozen towels.
Really?
You never been there?
No.
Oh, you got to go for a free day pass at least.
Really?
Oh, it's great. You walk around and they have these little freezers all over the floor, like everywhere. So
Okay.
like upstairs, downstairs, and you just open tons of towels and they're frozen, and they have eucalyptus infused into the towels
Now, this is just throughout the whole gym?
throughout the whole gym. It's phenomenal. It's the best thing in the world. You just walk around just putting it over your head like you just ran a 40. You're like, oh God, I gotta
That's
cool
awesome.
down.
Yeah. All right. I mean, the eucalyptus thing has always bugged me out. I was in Vegas, 2008. I went to Vegas, bachelor party that turned not into a bachelor party for me. So long story short, we'll leave it at that. And I went with there's about 15 of us, and one of my friends that I played, pro football with, a buddy of mine, Cook. Big guy, real big guy, kind of no neck. Like, we'd end up doing security together. Like the guy, like if it's going down, you want him by you.
Yeah.
So, we go to a day spa, and he's like, there's like we have this, we have that. There's eucalyptus steam room, there's that, and I'm like, eucalyptus steam room. I was like, I've never even heard of that. So, I have to end up just walking in there, and I see Cook. Cook is big, burly of a man, with the tiniest towel on,
Oh shit.
with cucumbers on his eyes, and he's just taking in this eucalyptus steam room, and I'm like,
Just straight enjoying
what
it.
the hell is going on in here? I'm like, first of all, I don't know if it was the steam room or the fact that he had cucumbers on his eyes that kind of freaked me out a little more. And then now while we're talking about it, I don't get it. I mean, maybe if you guys do it when you go to the gym, let me know. But what is it with guys just walking around, just everything hanging out, junk hanging out? It's like these older guys, like, me. I'm in the corner. I got a towel on. I'm taking off my clothes, and like, here comes, and most of the time it's the middle-aged white men, we'll keep it like that.
Oh yes.
I just feel like they don't
peg
get-
it on us. Let's
Yeah,
let
I
it-
mean,
They just don't get anything at home. They want somebody to look at it.
shit.
You know?
I mean,
Fucking hey, you got to feel bad for them.
it's crazy. I mean, but I'm sitting there like this, and like, I'm like, shit, I could walk around like that. I'm like, damn, this guy got no shame, man. I'm like,
None.
It just has to. Is it just old? Like, is this what you guys do when you get old? I don't know.
I got two stories. One is when I was a younger guy, super inappropriate, and super inappropriate for old men to be walking around like that with a young ass man in the locker room. So in my development where I live, there is a full gym. There's an indoor pool,
Yeah.
steam room, sauna, and they have outdoor pool.
Okay.
So it's dope. We live in a little
Yeah,
gated
yeah.
community.
Yeah.
It's sick. I've been there for 19 years. But I must have been 8 or 9, maybe a little older, maybe 10, maybe 10.
Too young.
And I'm in the hot tub, the jacuzzi in the locker room with one of my friends from school.
Okay.
Like we're just in there bathing suits, and I'll never forget one of my neighbors.
I know it's coming.
Yeah, you know what's coming. One of my neighbors walks in, old ass dude, walks in, and I'll never forget this shit, butt ass naked. And yo, you ever see on the desks those fucking balls?
Yeah.
It's like that just like hit back and forth, and they just keep going. Literally, all that was burned into my vision. He's having a full conversation with me and my friend. I'm like, bro,
Yeah, like nothing's
put
going
some
on.
fucking pants on.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
First story. Second story. I've never showered in a gym locker room. I've only done it once.
Okay.
Years, maybe 3-4 years ago. I was chilling with this girl, trained with her at her gym, and then she's like, "You gonna come back to my house, right?" I was like, "Yeah." So she's like, "You gonna shower at?" I was hoping she was gonna say shower at, and it wasn't even because I wanted to shower with her. I just wanted to shower, not at the gym.
Yeah.
But she's like, "Yeah, you just shower in the locker room. It's clean in there." I was like, "Fuck, all right." So I go in there, exactly what you did.
Yeah.
Buttoning it up, hitting it up, and I'm not ashamed of anything. I just, yo,
it's just
man,
weird.
I don't want you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be showing you my nuts. I don't want to have to see your shit. Keep that shit separate, man. I don't want to have to know what you look like down there without clothes. Like I just want to be able to see your face. That's it. So I'm in the you'll laugh because this is like cleanliness shit.
Right.
So I'm in the shower and I'm like, everything's hung up and I'm trying not to let anything touch the floor, shit like that. And I go to brush my teeth, and my toothbrush slips out of my hand, falls and hits the bottom. I said, well, now I got to fucking throw that out because there's no way I'm ever going to use that again. Ever.
That's rough.
And dude's just walking around. It's just unbelievable to me.
And you know what's funny? Coming from like, I played college ball. I played pro ball.
And when you say ball, you mean football.
Football, yeah,
Okay.
football. And we, you shower, you walk around, but it's different when it's your peers and, you're all young and, and I mean, listen, you talk about a football locker room, we got crazy in there. Like, dudes just do stupid stuff, towel fighting, just. Now, coming from that and then now going to this gym environment where I'm like, wow, I'm like, dude, cover that shit up, man. Like, I don't want to see it,
Yeah.
And then some guys, like, unfortunately, I know some of these guys, they want to have full-blown conversations. So, I'm sitting there like, yeah, that's cool, dude. And he's sitting there, yeah, well, you're looking good, man. How's the season going? And I'm like, oh, guys, I'm like, this is so uncomfortable, man.
Talk about stocks and shit.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
like, oh God,
and then
I'll see you in the office, bro.
And then like they're just walking around, man. I mean, and it's like, then you get into the steam room. I remember I walked in the steam room one day, and I really didn't know what kind of position this guy was in, but he was sitting on the upper bench, like with his feet on the bench too, so his knees were up by his shoulders, and I mean, it was just there, and I'm just like,
and that's not a good position for a man.
No, man, not in the steam room where there's nothing but other men going in there. Like if it was co-ed, he might have been good. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, dude, what's going on? Like even if I have on like spandex, I still wear a towel over me.
Man.
Like I'm one of those guys, and I'm just like, these guys got no shit. I mean, hey, listen, maybe who knows? I'll probably be like that in 2 years.
You're gonna be like that
2 years from now. I'm like, hey,
Kaz,
youngster.
remember that podcast?
Yeah. Like, hey, youngster, using nut butter, huh? So, but yeah, man. No, I never been to Equinox. I gotta try it out, man.
You gotta try Equinox out, man. I want to I do the gym bounce around. I go to a bunch of different spots. I mean, John co-owns a gym in
East Islip.
Yeah,
Okay.
A little private training facility.
Okay.
So he co-owns a gym out there, and obviously we go to Bev's and shit. And that was our video shoot a couple weeks ago. That was your first experience at Bev's. So now you got to come back.
Yes. I mean, but you know what? I'm weird. I bounce around a lot too. I'm one of those gym guys. Like, I train by myself. I have a couple guys I'll train with, but for the most part, I train by myself because it's my schedule.
Right.
But I also like bouncing around because I feel like once I go to a gym too long, people start to familiarize themselves with you, either it's good or it's bad, and then then you want to have the conversation, and then it's like, well, I don't want to be rude and like kind of just blow you off, but so I bounce around a lot. I mean, I'm at one point where I was friggin' up to 5 different gyms. I mean, I do my martial arts at UFC in New Hyde Park. I go to another gym in Rockville Center. I got hooked into that gym because I do the hot yoga. So the hot yoga in Rockville Center, I would be like, all right, I'm either going to lift before or lift after. Oh, there's a gym right there. So I joined that gym. So now I have that gym. Then, I'm based out of headquarters for the city of New York City Corrections. There's a gym over there. So I joined that gym. And then, then I joined Lifetime. So I'm sitting here with spending almost $300-400 on freaking gym memberships, so I get it, but now I'm kind of like, tapering off. At some point you see it's not worth all the money. I can do all this stuff.
Insurance only covers so much.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, insurance is only covering one of those gyms,
Yeah.
and that's through Global Fit, which one of my buddies put me on to, which I never knew about. But Lifetime doesn't care about any of that shit.
Nah,
They
no
don't want
shit.
Global Fit. They don't care if you're law enforcement. They just want your $180 a month, and
Yeah.
They want your
that-
credit card.
Equinox is 174. They keep hitting me up. They keep asking me, hey, we want to get you in. I'm like, guys, listen, I love that you guys have yoga there, and the teachers are great. They really do know what they're talking about, and I love the gym. It's definitely not my type of gym because I like whenever I describe Bev's, and it's not as dirty as I describe it, but I'm the kind of it's not. I'm the kind of guy that likes to get tetanus when I touch a weight at a gym.
Listen, those
I
are the
want
good
it to be
gyms.
grungy.
Those are the listen. I did my undergrad up at Iona in New Rochelle. So I used to train at this place in Mount Vernon. Back then it was called Flex Appeal. Now it's called
Mount Vernon Barbell?
Barbell.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
So and like I try to explain to people like what kind of environment that was. So there was only a few kind of people that lifted there. You had drug dealers. You had some cops, because cops, listen, that's the way you get most of your cases if you're up there. And then you just had the hardcore street dudes that were just like, and it was such an intense place to train. Like it wasn't any of this, make sure you wipe the weights off, or make sure you don't drop them. There's no grunting. And I mean, it's a hardcore gym.
I love it.
I mean, yeah.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
That was
I mean,
Montanari Bros up in Connecticut, man. All the state, you have literally blood members everywhere.
Yeah.
You have state troopers
Yeah.
everywhere. And you got the bodybuilders.
And there you go. That was the one group I left out, the bodybuilders. But it's inside that gym. It doesn't matter what you do outside.
No.
Everybody's in there to train.
you got cops spotting
that's the
gang
best.
members. You got
yeah.
bodybuilders helping everybody out with their nutrition and shit.
I mean, it was great. I mean, I love that gym. That's like a hardcore gym, And listen, I grew up. I was skinny, man. I grew up. I graduated high school in '97. I was about probably 160 pounds soaking wet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I needed food back then. And then I'll never forget. What kind of jumped me into working out is coming out of high school, I was really good in basketball. I wasn't good in football. I mean, honestly, I probably sucked in football. And I really wanted to play football. So, we have this thing at the end of the football season, football, your senior year, they call it the gridiron dinner. It's like all the colleges, they have tables set up, and, you walk around and you're like, oh, yeah, you come here, you can do this. You come here, you play this. So at the time, one of my good friends, my tattoo artist now, one of my best friends, James, he was unbelievable tight end. He didn't want to go to school play football. He was going to art school. He turned out to be a crazy graffiti artist.
That's right. Is that where I met you up that time at the shop?
Yeah,
he
the guy
does some sick
does
work.
all my work. So so we're walking around with him and my high school football head coach, and he's just promoting him. So like we're sitting there and he's like, oh, James, you can go here. James, you can go there. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, all right, well, me and James know he's not going anywhere to play football. So now the game is, now you're going to most of these schools, and most of the coaches are like, oh yeah, you could come, you'll sit your first year and then you'll play the next couple of years. So, standard stuff, I go over to the Nassau Community College table, and from right there, my football coach was like, Kaz, we'll go over there. We'll talk to him, but I don't think he could play there. So that was the first shot. I was like, oh, wow, okay. So I go up, Coach Powers. I'll never forget him. So I go and I introduce myself, Coach Powers, and he goes, yeah, you could come try out for me. And it blew my mind. I'm like, well, what are you saying different that everybody else is like, oh, well, you come, you sit a year, you play. He's like, you can come try out for me. So I just, I'm one of those people that if you challenge me, like it's gonna set me over the edge. Like it doesn't matter in
Lights
what.
the fire under
like
you.
it like unbelievably, like you would never know. So he's like, you're a little light though. And I was like, he's like, what position you play? I was like, oh, I play receiver. He was like, okay, come see me in the summer. I'll give you a strength and training program, and then, like I said, you can come try out for me. So I went down that summer with my high school quarterback. We met Coach Powers, gave me the strength and conditioning program, and I started doing it. I mean, I put on probably 15, maybe 20 pounds of muscle in maybe 3 months.
Those intro gains, man.
I mean,
Ready
listen,
to
but you know
go.
what? And now growing up, like, a lot of people make fun of me. Growing up, I was dubbed the boy in the bubble. I remember my pediatrician telling my mother, like, he's allergic to his own bacteria.
Oh shit.
I mean, I was always sick, asthma. I mean, grass. I was allergic to grass. I was cats, dogs. I mean, I could tell you how many nights I spent in the hospital on nebulizer machines, and it was one of those things where. And then also my mom told me that you can't take anything, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like my mom gave me the talk about smoking weed when I was younger. She's like, well, you have asthma, you can't smoke weed, you'll die. And I took it to heart.
Yeah, you get fucking nervous.
I'm like, I'm never doing that. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
I can't do any drugs. I'm going to die. So that set me on that. But then also I didn't think that I could ever take any supplements. So now I got older, I'm here poised with this, I want to go play for Nassau Community College. And
I want to preface, this is when Nassau actually had a good team.
This was back in the late 90s. I mean, we were a powerhouse team back then. I mean, I'll get into that where I didn't really realize what I was getting into till I was there. So, I go GNC and I get protein. I'm doing creatine. And now you're talking about, a skinny kid who's never taken anything. And now I'm lifting twice a day. I'm running. So the program I had is, I was up at about maybe 4 or 5 in the morning. I live right next to Floral Park High School, about maybe 5-minute walk from my house. So I would run to Floral Park. I do my laps. I come home. I shower. I go to the gym, old school gym in Elmont, Valencia. Started, just like.
Didn't what's his name say he went there? Matt.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Matt,
yeah.
Matt, the baseball player we had on.
Okay, Valencia is like a town gym, because you're talking about back then. There really weren't that many gyms. I mean, if you want to go back that far, the only other gym so that was in Elmont. The only other gym I think really in the close vicinity was Excalibur, which was in Franklin Square. So it was really funny because. Like all the kids that went to Cary High School, they used to go to Excalibur. Or the kids that went to like Sewanaka and maybe some Elmont Floral Park, we would go to Valencia.
Was Excalibur the gym that was next to Johnny?
Johnny, what?
Johnny.
Yes, it was.
So funny story. My pop grew up in Franklin Square.
Yeah.
My mom technically did too. They both went to Cary.
Okay, yeah.
So when my parents split up, I'd go on weekends to go visit my dad, and he was living in Franklin Square still. Mm-hmm. We would go for sushi at Johnny. But he would go and he would work out
at Excalibur.
This is when he could still work out before the MS really hit him.
Okay.
But like he would bring me, and I was a little kid. I never knew what the name of the gym was, but I remember him taking me there.
Excalibur.
But if you say in Franklin Square, that was the main gym for a long time,
and especially back
it was like a downstairs, right?
Yeah. All the good leg machines were downstairs, So it's funny.
And I wish I knew what my pops was doing because he probably didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
I mean,
I could critique the shit out of him now.
I mean, listen.
At least he was there.
Old man strength. That's all they needed. They go in there.
This is when he was an iron worker.
Oh, even super old man strength. They go in there. They throw on 3 plates without a warm up. You're like, this guy's gonna kill himself, and they're just like, I'm like, I want that old man strength. A couple years.
Grip strength on 1,000.
Yeah, I'm just like, I never mess with my dad when he does that. But man. So I got into, I had a good regimen. I was friggin' up running. I was taking creatine. I was taking protein. I was in the gym. I come home. Relax throughout the day, go back to the gym later on in the afternoon to the point where I probably put on a good, maybe like I'd say a solid 20 pounds of muscle. And not only that, it was hardcore training. Like I didn't have money to buy a jump rope, so I used to take the old phone cords. You talk about
man.
Like we're going 20 years now, so you're talking about the old
younger
phone
listeners
cords.
are gonna be like, what the fuck is he talking about?
And I had the long one. It was wrapped into a row of 3 to the point where if you screwed up, that shit hit you. You're getting whelps. And I'd be in my garage, man. No ventilation, just sweating it out. Like I call it like maybe like the ghetto version of Rocky training.
That's what I was gonna say, Rocky style.
Like when
right.
when you have no money, you still have means.
You make do with what you can.
And I would do all that, and we had a team meeting, like a kind of a orientation for Nassau football. I went and I met a couple guys. I'll never forget Chip, and I forgot the lineman's name. Chip was a running back from Wyandanch, and they were sitting on the steps at Nassau. So I walk up and I'm like, oh, which way do I go for this? And one of them was like, he's like, yo, you play ball? And I was like, yeah, I play football. He was like, all right, man, you look like you play ball. And I was like, that was my first oh shit, it's working.
It was all
working. Yeah, it's working.
Man, people underestimate how much you can do as soon as you've never started training before. Those first 6 months, people have no idea what you can accomplish training-wise. You know what I mean? You know, you hear Rich Piana, and once he really got serious, he put on, like 30 pounds in however many months.
Yeah.
You put 20 on in X amount of time.
Yeah. I mean,
It's, if your body's never seen this before and you're eating right, you're taking supplements, you're working hard, you're kicking your own ass.
Yeah.
Dude, it explodes.
Yeah, I mean the body itself is funny. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know where I got them from, but my genetics they're insane. I mean, I cannot work out for a week or two, maybe even a month, and get back into it in 2 weeks and look like I never missed a beat. But going back to the Nashville story, so I go back and I meet these guys, and they're like, yeah, whatever. So I go, and first day of tryouts, I understand what Coach Powers told me 6-7 months before. So back then, Nassau community was we were pretty much like the only junior college in the area like that had a good football team. So you had guys coming from all over. You had all the main ball players from like Brooklyn, the city, that had unbelievable talent but just didn't have the grades. Then you had a handful of us Long Island kids. Even had some Jersey kids come in. So I go out there, like, all right, receivers. All the receivers go here. We're getting ready to do a mile run for time. I'm like, all right, cool. About 180 guys stand up. I'm like, holy crap. DBs, there's about 180, maybe 200 DBs. Running backs. So now I understand what Coach Powers meant when he said you can come try out for me.
Yeah.
But now, once
Sure,
again,
why not?
Gotta clear the herd.
Yeah, and now you're talking to me, and like I said, I didn't have game film. I didn't have a great senior year in football. Like, I was just, but it was that he challenged me, and that's just how I am. It's like, if you challenge me, it just lights it. It just, it's just, there's nothing that you can say or do that's going to make me not prove you wrong. So that year, we made. I'm sorry if I'm boring you, man.
John.
No, it's all right. I mean, I was up late last night too, but
I got my girl that edible nut butter. She didn't sleep a fucking beat last night.
Woo, can't wait.
John doesn't get much airflow.
Okay.
Yeah, I really can't breathe at all. My nose
Really?
is bent like all the way this way. I have to get surgery on it.
Man. Punched in the nose a couple times.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. See, you're sick. I'm like one of those guys. Like, part of training is like, just punch me in the face. Listen, how you know if you could take a punch if you don't train it, right?
Saves the doctor's appointment, right?
there
You
go.
break it, I'll have them fix it.
There you go.
Says the guy who's getting his core worked out on the video
Yeah,
by Gareth, who comes on in 2
yeah, that
weeks.
was crazy.
Yeah. We'll get into that story because awesome human being, but just a
fucking
total
beast.
Animal.
I can't wait to have him on in 2
Animal.
weeks.
And but when I say awesome human being, like, he's like one of those people where it's like, if you turn them around, it's like a complete violent side when it comes to training and just demolishing people, and then you turn him, it's like a big teddy bear. He walks around with his little foo-foo dog, and you can play this and tell him I said that, But it's one of those things. We'll get into Gareth because that's a whole nother story of how we
Little
met.
preface of him before he comes on, so that's good.
So we
So you guys all get up for the run.
yeah, so we get up for the run, and that year the team held about maybe 15 receivers. We'll just talk about my position specifically. Out of those 15, I think 14 of them were coming back from the previous season. Coach Powers took me and another kid that transferred from Cortland as the only 2 receivers out of that group. So now we're talking about Nassau being a big powerhouse and me not really knowing what I got into. So I go through the camp. I'm fine. I'm doing my thing. I'm good. I'm in shape. Thank God I worked out the way I did. And, we get into our season schedule. Probably blow out the first 3 or 4 teams, freaking like smoking them, like just because basically what Nassau was is like a all-star team, a high school all-star team of like just everybody. I mean, I can name guys. Guys went to Wisconsin, guys were going to Florida, guys like everybody that went to Nassau went to a big 1A school. So we go down, and at that time our rivals were the Georgia schools. We had Middle Georgia and Georgia Military. So we go down to I believe it was Middle Georgia. And we lose the game. Going to the locker room, dudes are throwing their helmets. There goes the fucking season. There goes the national championship. It's over. And now I'm coming from Sewanaka. I think we won 2 games that year as a senior. So I'm like, guys, we lost 1 game. What are you talking about? Like, we're still like 4-1, 5-1. This is great. Like, I've never been on a winning team like this. You guys are going crazy.
It's like my Patriots.
Right now.
Ah,
Man, and I'm just like, cooches. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, wow, this is next level. A lot of the guys that I played with as receivers left that year. So that spring, my coach names me and another guy starting receivers. And then I got it. I understood like what it was about, like, and then, you're a national powerhouse, like everybody's in that school to go somewhere else.
Is that what it is? It's a jump off school?
Yeah.
It was. They don't have a football program anymore.
No, they do. They do. Actually, one of my good friends is their head coach now.
Oh, it's Hofstra that doesn't have a football program?
Hofstra doesn't have one. So, I mean, for me, and that's when I started kind of really understanding like how football and how you have to really think, and what a lot of kids go through now, even at a high school level, of what's going to be your best opportunity to get to that ultimate level. So I went into that next year, and in preseason I broke my fingers.
Oh, how many?
These two.
How?
Oh, the two.
Yeah.
What was it?
I was
Pinky
at
and
my
index?
pinky
Is that what it's called?
and-
No, index is your pointer, right?
Yeah, and pinky and I guess
Ring finger.
Ring finger, yeah.
on
Yeah,
your right
yeah.
hand. So just catching a ball, I guess it just hit me wrong and I broke it. I didn't know I broke it. I was at home. We had a party and I'm sitting there like, damn, my hand's radiating. I'm like, it friggin' feels like, like something's wrong.
Sounds right, yeah.
So I go to the doctor. He's like, oh yeah, it's broken. I was like, all right, other thing, I hate doctors. I hate the experiences that I've had. So I'm sitting there, ex-girlfriend of mine, and we're sitting there, we're talking. And he's like, yeah, so you have a broken finger. I'm gonna fix it. He just takes my hand, goes.
Stop.
I was like, I started freaking out. I was like, what? Just popped it right back in. So I also have this fear about being incapacitated. So he was like, all right, you're gonna have to wear this splint, and I'm like, I can't wear this splint. Like I gotta go back to practice. Like, you kidding me? I'm the starting receiver. Like what are you talking about? So me being a hard ass, I went back and
You took it off, didn't you?
I took it off and I taped them together and I went and I played and it made it worse. And then after the season was over, I started, really getting into training again. So I said, as long as I can make a fist, I don't care how it heals. So if you can see, that's how it heals. And you see the knuckles right there. That's all the calcium and everything that built up from that. But like I said, as long as I can, I've broken fingers. I've had teeth kicked out.
I broke my fifth metacarpal. So you can see that shit. Look.
Yeah. It's gross.
Yeah, it was.
It's gross, but it's sexy. But
yeah.
This got
It grows
me a
back
couple
stronger.
of,
So
yeah.
if I probably won't break it again if I get into another scrap.
Yeah, no, and I've done numerous things to these fingers, and they've been fine. And listen, man, I was all about like, I gotta play. I ended up staying that season, and then like I said, like what kids go through these days now, it's what's gonna help me get to that next level. So I was like, you know what, I'm probably not gonna make the big 1A school. Let me start looking on my own. So I looked at Iona, and it just worked out. The girl I was dating at the time was a soccer player at Iona. So I looked at Iona. It had everything I needed. There wasn't there wasn't an athlete at receiver there like me. I looked at all the surrounding schools. I really knew I could stand out. So I transferred to Iona. I sit my first year. I redshirt. I work out, get ready for school, get my books and stuff in order and stuff like that. Because now I'm also the first one to go to college for my family. So, and then it was like, not only am I the first one to go to college, like I'm the first one that I'm paying for college myself.
Yeah.
So
Right.
And Iona's not a cheap school. It's any college is not cheap.
Yeah, I was about to say any college
But
technically.
now
As I get hit with my student loans
Especially not
on
anymore.
on the 3rd and 8th of every month, and they're like, hey, by the way, we're still here. We just still need money.
Yeah, biggest scam. Biggest scam.
Oh, yeah.
But so I go up there, I sit, and my first season, I destroy it. I came into a situation where they had a really awesome running back, like all-American kid, and teams that we played against just knew him. So now it was easy for me to stand out. So it served its purpose. I went there, I did my years, served its purpose. Started getting workouts, NFL camps, stuff like that. That ultimately didn't work out. Then I got into arena football, which I loved because it's like indoor football on a hockey rink, just with turf instead of ice.
Yeah,
And
they do
it's
some
just-
fucked up shit in that
Yeah,
stuff.
it's. I remember my
You
first
ever seen arena
game.
football?
No, I've never heard of
I gotta
this.
show you, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, my first
Like
game.
dudes checking each other over the
Yeah,
boards.
I caught a ball on the sideline, like right by the board, and DB just drove me into the stands. And I'll never forget the commentator was like, "Hey, number 9, if you wanted front row tickets, you could have just bought it like everybody else." And I was like, "Wow!" But Yeah, man, and it just all started from, that whole career and journey just started from my high school coach and Coach Powers challenging me and saying, basically you can come try out. It's not like kids today, man. Kids today are handed everything, freaking participation trophies and crap like that. Like, we didn't get participation trophies when we were kids.
No, you lost, you fucking lost.
Yeah,
That was it.
And you tried to get better.
Come back next year.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I mean,
You didn't cut it. Like, great.
Yep.
and I think that's a big problem nowadays. This generation now, they're soft.
Well, that's what I was going to say. A lot of people won't, and especially in this generation, a lot of people won't get excited and get that fire lit on their ass like you did.
Yeah.
A lot of them won't get excited about getting better.
Yeah.
They want the instant. They want that like on Instagram.
Yes.
They want that instant gratification right now. I don't want to have to wait 6 months to get better to then get on the team. I want to be on the team now.
Yeah.
Why can't I be on the team now?
Yeah. I was going to say, it's kind of the other way around. It's not that they're not happy about it. They're pissed off that they have to get better. What do you mean I'm not good enough? Well, motherfucker, you don't practice, you don't work out, and you're like, shit. What do you mean you're not good enough? You know what I mean? You should know this.
Yeah, it's also too, like, listen, I mean, like Nick said, he just shot the video for me, Welcome to 40. I think a big part of that is, like, it's not really turning to 40. It's kind of accepting, where you're at now as opposed to where you were back then. I view myself now as, I know I lost a step or two. I know that I may give you 200-yard runs down the field, and then I may have to, stop or sit down, but that's the realization that I know now. So what does that mean? I have to tailor my game. I have to tailor what I can do to what I can still do now. I think a lot of people, they don't have the mindset to go through that, and then, I mean, mental toughness is also, like, the biggest thing that's out there. I think I posted something on Instagram the other morning. So I'm up at 3 o'clock every morning. I got to be on duty at 6. So I'm up at 3 a.m., maybe sometimes 2:45. I'm running. So my first thing is I get up, I roll out of bed, I go and I run a mile and a half. I come home, I take a shower, I jump, I'm in the gym in Lifetime. Beautiful thing about being in Lifetime that early in the morning, there's nobody there. So I fly through my workout. And I mean, listen, I don't really need to do much. I'm not like how I was back in the day when I was younger, trying to lift up the whole gym. I mean, I'm just in there to maintain, keep the little bit of strength I have, but I train differently now, so I'm in and out of the gym, and I'm at work sometimes, 5:15. I'm at work earlier than I need to be on duty. And I get people that respond to my story, and they're like, wow, how do you get up and do that? And I could never do that. And I said, well, that's my drive, like, and then especially with the season coming up. So basically, like Nick was saying before, is, I'm part of the Boldest football team. So basically every agency in New York, city agency in New York, corrections, PD, FD&Y, sanitation, we all have semi-pro teams. New team coming into the league, Tri-State Shields. They are basically semi-pro teams. So basically there's a football league out there for first responders. So, we take it very serious.
It's nationwide too. It's
I
not
mean,
just in the tri-borough.
No,
it's
it's
nationwide.
That's awesome.
They play in Chicago. They play in California.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over. I mean, and if you want to be as specific, I want to say maybe going back to 2015 is when we first got our first championship. From 15 to now, I think there's maybe 1 year where a New York team didn't win the championship. So most of the time, the championship is decided really right here in our own backyard. But it's so competitive now. I play ball, college ball, with half the guys on all the teams. So like NYPD, their starting middle linebacker was my middle linebacker in college. I mean, we were on the field. He's talking crap to me like, "Oh, Kaz, you lucky you went down. I was gonna take your head off." And I'm like, "All right, Lou," But and it's so competitive to the point. I think maybe 2 years ago we had a couple of the Giants players come down and be honorary captains, and they're on our sideline. They're like, "Holy crap! Like, yo, you guys like." You hate each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was my first interaction with you guys.
Yeah.
So I got introduced to you through Steve Peoples from Bevs.
Yeah.
This is 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Time flies, right?
And that was the
FDNY game.
Yeah.
Is the game I came down to film you guys playing.
Yeah.
And and I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
All I knew was that it was gonna be cold as fuck.
Yeah.
And I was out there, and like just the intensity of and literally hate.
Yeah.
You guys screaming at them, they're screaming at you. The shit talking, even the refs. It's almost like you think people have like stakes in it.
It's
wild.
It's serious, man.
Yeah.
It's serious. And you know, it's funny. It's like even with the FDNY team, like some of the coaches and some of the players, like those are my friends. You know, so it's funny, but at the end of the day, it's like, yo, we hate you guys. You guys hate us, and we're here to play football. And I mean, FDNY, we pretty much own them. I think in the last 6 years that we've played them, I think they've beaten us twice. We've beaten them 4 times. PD kind of. Obviously, the other way around, they kind of own us, and that's just because they have freaking 100 guys on their team.
They do, yeah.
They
That was
walk
wild
out.
to
They
see.
walk out with like
That
two
was the
teams.
that was the game at
Columbia.
Columbia that I filmed.
We beat them one year. Excuse me. The year we won the championship, we beat them. It was just our time to beat them. But for the most part, you know, they're a good team. I mean, they're all good teams, man, and you know, they're all good guys. I mean, we all do crazy jobs, and that's our outlet. You know, it's what gets us, you know, going. You know, it's like it's our separation from the work in environment. And like Nick said, it's nationwide. I mean, I've been all over the place playing with this team. I mean, I've been to Chicago, I've been to Vegas, I've been to California for a championship. I mean, DC, Roanoke. I mean, some of the places that you wouldn't even imagine that they had these teams. Like this coming year, we're going. We open up our game in Orlando, so our season in Orlando. So we're gonna go down there and play them. We're playing Roanoke PD and DC for Police Week. You know, so I get to travel. It's fun, and then. You know, the camaraderie, like you get to, like, we'll play with a team, I'll kick your ass all game, and then after we go and we have a beer together and we talk about work and we talk about the game and we talk about, you know, everything else outside of football and just life in general. Like being able to do that is awesome. And still, you know, even, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm old, but even at this age that I'm at, still being able to travel and make those connections. Like I got a guy that plays for the Dallas team I've never met. We go back and forth on Instagram. You know, just the relationship I've developed with him, you know, just based on football, and if you want to talk based on football and law enforcement together, it's insane. But I mean, yeah, I'm just one of those people that I just have a motor like that. I don't want to be that guy that, how do I say it? I'm not prepared. You know, like if you're gonna be better than me at something, like for instance, so we'll go into like the fighting and the MMA stuff. Like if we get into an octagon, we get into a ring, and you beat me. You're going to beat me just because you're a better fighter than me. You're not going to beat me because you're more prepared. You're not going to beat me because I get winded, because I can control all those aspects. I can control how much of in shape, how good of shape I'm in. I can control how well I've prepared. The only thing I can't control is I can't control your skill set. I can't control if you're just better than me. I can take that L. You know, a lot of people can't take losses. I can take that loss because that loss is something that's not in my control. That's just you know.
One of my favorite Kai Green quotes ever when I first started training, following a bunch of the upper tier guys. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
I like that.
Yeah.
That and then obviously his thoughts become things is obviously great. That he
I always love that one.
I love that one. He projects it a lot. That picture I took of him sitting there with the thoughts become things on his back. Everyone was like, "Yo, stand next to me. I need that as a wallpaper. I'm just like, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
But proper preparation prevents poor performance.
I mean, you know, you get into the old school, you know, what was the old school saying? Hard work will beat talent any day.
That's
you know?
and if you ever watch Generation Iron,
Yeah.
Generation Iron is almost like our version of Pumping Iron. So the first one was Kai Green against Phil Heath, basically the two main characters going up against each other for the Mr. Olympia title. And Phil Heath's nickname is The Gift. So Kai is constantly talking about it doesn't matter how many gifts you have, nothing beats hard work.
Yeah. I mean, I you know, like I said, I still that's always going to be the top anything, because, you know, listen, I mean, I got guys that play next to me. I mean, these kids, you know, they're like me when I was younger. They're fast, you know, and listen, I get it when you're young and you got that athletic ability that you never think it's going to run out, and then when it starts running out, you're like, oh shit, I got to really train.
The knees start creaking a little bit.
I mean,
So
listen,
take care of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you know, unfortunately, it's also about money. But if I had the knowledge and the money that I have now, and I mean, listen, I'm not a millionaire, but I just know how to manage my money a little better. Like, I'd probably still be in the league playing. You know, I mean, and you know, like Nick put up in the video. I know how to take care of my body. I go and get stretched. Like, I know I'm older. I know I got shitty hamstrings. You know, so every day or every before a game, I'm at my stretch therapist. I'm at my sports scientist guy, and he stretches me for an hour and a half. So now I'm going to the game. I'm already a step ahead. Where yeah, we stretch before the game, but that little BS, 20-minute stretch is not going to do anything.
Yeah,
for
toe
your body.
touches and
Yeah,
high
no.
knees. It's like, okay.
I mean, that's basically just a warm up. I'll go do a hot yoga class. I mean, if you want to talk about an average game day, I'm up, hot yoga. Then I'm at Dr. P to get stretched, and then I'm heading to the car. I'm heading to the game, and I'm playing. I didn't have that knowledge back then.
And if you did, do you think that that's super important back then to get your body greased up and ready, even at a younger age?
Of course. I mean, listen, you know what? I mean, it still baffles me. I'll never forget when I heard Randy Moss. Randy Moss never stretched, or he never really warmed up like that before a game. I mean, and that's probably how Randy Moss was in the beginning. But I'm sure at some point when he started getting older, he had to change that because the body just it's not going to stay the same forever. You're going to have to adapt. The body has to adapt. So it's like I do legs at the gym. I don't squat heavy like I used to do. Like I was in college squatting like almost 4 something and change playing receiver. I had legs like I was a freaking linebacker or a DB. I barely do squats or anything now. I kind of, you got to change everything. You got to evolve. You got to evolve the way you work out.
Yeah.
Certain things like, we won the championship in 2015, 2016. The next year, I'm in practice running. I collide with one of our linebackers, uplifts me off my feet. I land, and my arm is extended. Oh. Hit the ground. I felt a sharp pain go right into my heart. Screamed. Knew something was wrong. Got up. Was like, shit, I did something. I don't know if I pulled a muscle or something. Took off my pads. One of the guys, they were like, yo, you probably did something to your pec. One of my teammates, Depp, he had tore his pec a couple years before. He was like, yeah. He's like, well, you really know if you tore your pec or anything, in a couple hours when you go home, it'll be black and blue. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Called my girlfriend at the time. I'm like, yeah, I think we got to go to the hospital. I think I tore my pec. So my friend's going to drop me off at your house. So I go to her house. She drops me off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to the ortho tomorrow anyway. I was like, I'm not going to go to the hospital. Just make me a drink. I'll have a drink. We'll go to bed. So makes me a drink. We go to bed. I wake up at like 2, maybe 1:32 in the morning to go take a piss. In the bathroom. I'm in the mirror looking. Next thing I know, I'm out cold on the floor. To her shaking me, waking me up, hysterical, crying, like, what's wrong with you? What happened? And I'm like, what do you mean? How did I get on the floor? So, one, the force of my body hitting the floor shook the entire house. Where it woke her up in bed, and it woke the downstairs neighbor up. She thought I hit my head on the radiator because it was such a close quarters bathroom. So she's like, I'm taking you to the hospital. Going back to I don't like doctors. I'm like, nah, I'm fine. I'm just gonna
shake it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna shake it off, man.
I'm gonna go back to sleep and in the bed this time.
She's like, you just passed out. She's like, we gotta go see what's wrong. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So we, she lived right around the corner from the hospital. So we get to the hospital. They hook me up to the EKG and all that stuff. And the nurses started looking at me. They're like, are you all right? And I was like, yeah, I'm all right. I think I did something to my pec, but I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. She's like,
no, there was no bruising.
Minimum.
Okay.
But she says to me, she's like, you're in AFib status right now.
Oh, atrial fibrillation.
I'm like, what? So foreign to me. Girlfriend's a nurse, so she starts hysterical crying. She's like, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? They rush me into the back, and now I'm just into a whole nother realm. And I'm like, well, somebody explain to me what's going on. So at first, nobody really believed what I was saying. Happened, like, until maybe a week or two later, I got in front of some people that actually listened to what I was trying to tell them.
Right.
Turned out the shock of tearing the pec was so severe, it sent my heart into, like, it just, and like I said, when I hit the ground, I felt like my heart exploded.
I'm like in pain for you.
Like I felt like my heart exploded, and I'm just like, fuck. So now I spend the next 4 days in the hospital. And everybody's just worried about my heart. I mean, listen, I get it. It's the heart. And like I tell everybody, I'm like, listen, if I had heart issues, I would have probably dropped dead a long time ago. The amount of training that I do, and I had to really break this down to one of the doctors. Like, listen, I wake up, I do insanity in the morning. I mean, I go running, I go to the gym, I go hot yoga, and I go to martial arts. Sometimes I do all 5 of those in one day. if I had a heart condition like you guys are so, up in arms about, I think I would have dropped down a long time ago. So, and I had to really explain to them, like, when I hit the ground and I tore my pec, I literally felt like my heart exploded. So stay in the hospital, which, it sounds so severe, and as ironic as it is, it's a common thing that happens. So basically the corrective action for that was to put me under and just deep fib me to get my heart back in rhythm.
Just set it up.
Yeah, just to get back in rhythm. And I'm just like, oh, okay, that's it. Go back out there.
Turn it off, turn it back on
yeah,
again.
it's like, all right. So they put me back in regular.
So now, just before we get off the topic of AFib, so atrial fibrillation is something that Apple Watches are detecting now.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you know that.
No.
So there's tons of stories of people just wearing their Apple Watch, and now your Apple Watch, the new Series 4 and up, has an EKG built into it.
Really?
So it's actually sick. So I'll show you real quick on my phone, just before we get off the topic of this.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about it is it'll actually, and now obviously it's not as in depth as, say, a real, EKG that you get done at the doctor. But so for example, where is it? Yeah, electrocardiogram. So these are the ones that I've done myself, and it'll actually keep that data. Now let's say I see that I'm in AFib, right? I can actually export this PDF to a doctor so they could see this piece, and then they do a real one when you get to the hospital.
Really?
So now you'll get a notification on your Apple Watch that
we'll let you know.
We're not saying that it's 100%, but based on your heart rate right now and what we're noticing, and this is done in the background, we're noticing that you may be in AFib. You may want to go seek medical attention.
Yeah.
So the amount of people that are getting saved, just to talk about how many years ago was this?
Right.
This was 2016.
2016. So now think about it.
Now, if I would have had that,
13 years later, 12 years later, when the Apple Watch comes out, and if you just had wearing this, and you more than likely, if you had an iPhone, you'd more than likely be wearing one.
I don't.
It's okay. But you'd be wearing one because you're an athlete and you like to track your stuff and everything like that. And for people that don't know, atrial fibrillation is an irregular, often rapid heart rate that commonly causes poor blood flow.
Okay.
And the heart's upper chambers, the atria, beat out of coordination with the lower chambers. So that's why they had to shock you to get it back into rhythm.
Yeah. So was that just an Apple plug? Because if you have Apple plug,
Apple send the check.
Listen, I'm gonna go Samsung. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Galaxy plug.
Listen, I don't know if the Galaxy Watch, because they have Samsung smartwatches. I don't believe they do.
They have that
electrocardiograms. However.
Maybe they should.
Maybe they should. Maybe Samsung.
I don't have the watch stuff. That's too expensive for my blood. I just keep it.
But now just think about that on the level of technology and how far we've come.
I mean, listen. You know what? I mean, something like that would have been good. I mean, I always play out like I kind of got lucky that night because
very lucky.
I was actually almost gonna go home. So at that point in time, I had my own apartment. So now, I play it back. Like, what if I go home and I pass out, and and I'm out cold for a little bit, what happens then? Where does it go?
Probably don't wake up.
Yeah, exactly. Or if I do, brain damage, stuff like that. I mean, it was a crazy experience, man. It was definitely, and when I say, life is such a crazy journey. It's one of those things where like it took me away from the normal way I used to be. Like, oh, I tore my hamstring. Oh, I'll deal with it on my own. I don't got to do this. Oh, I did this. I'll deal with it on my own. To now where it's like, oh my God, I broke a nail. Let me go get something, get this checked out. Oh man, my back hurts. Oh, I got to go to the chiropractor. I got to, fly me into, LIJ.
I turned 28 this past August. Oh, you can't talk to, by the way, don't ever look at John when we're talking about age. And John, how old are you?
A whopping 23.
See, you're not 40 and he's not 23. I think it's switched. I think this motherfucker's actually 40. I think he's lying to us.
Oh, man.
So you can't talk to him about...
I want to see your driver's license.
Oh, it's funny. I'm 16.
I'm
16,
God.
I'm buck 50.
You can't talk to John about age because he doesn't get it yet. Okay,
damn.
But I turned 28 this year, and I threw a couple weeks ago. What did I tell you? I threw my back out doing fucking side raises with 30s.
And what'd you do? You knew exactly. I gotta go home. I gotta get this. Yeah, like right away.
It popped. I looked at Adonis and I went, "We got 10 minutes before I can't walk. I'm out." Yeah. And as I'm walking with my gear bag, you Chappelle yelling. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I can't walk.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I mean, but it definitely changed my thinking. It definitely changed my approach to life and how I deal with injuries. I mean, but once again, I'm just a competitor, and so they shocked me, put me back in regular rhythm, and now I still have to deal with the pec.
Question: what's the recovery time? Like, how soon after you get shocked back into rhythm do they say that you could start to train again?
I was fine. So what they did is
because they obviously want you to be careful now.
Yeah.
Right.
So lucky for me, my girl, I did it in her hospital, and the doctors I dealt with her people, which I'll always be grateful for that relationship and everything that she helped guide me through. They had me wear a heart monitor. Because like I said, I still had the notion like, listen, I don't have a heart issue. I was like, this was because of this. To the point where one of her friends did actually a paper on me getting AFib from a football injury, which after I researched it, it happens very often. You get into a bad car accident.
That's what I was gonna say,
you hit the steering wheel. A lot of people go into AFib from that. You fall and you hit the ground hard enough. Like, it's just that. I mean, it's crazy.
I don't know if I ever told you. I was cleaning the neon sign before I put it in the office. I got electrocuted so bad. I got so scared that my heart wasn't going to work. I'm sitting there. Yo, that shit zapped the fuck out of me. All right, let's talk about my negligence real quick. First off, there's exposed, like, these coverings right here. Those are exposed wires underneath it. Yeah. So my dumb ass, I'm cleaning it while it's on and plugged in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay. And then this cover right here moves. So I'm just like, oh, there's like dirt in there. So I put my finger in there, bro.
Oh man!
Like I got shot.
Did your hair stand up?
Dude,
I was in the movies.
You know my bracelet that I normally wear?
Yeah.
Dude, I was swinging my arms so much that the bracelet flew across the room.
Oh man!
I was like this. I was like, I couldn't stop. Like I was like, do I have feeling? I couldn't.
That's
Yo,
great,
I shocked
man.
myself so fucking bad.
Woke you up though, huh?
Scared the shit out of me too.
Yeah, man.
See, that's the pre-workout you need.
Oh my god.
Let's not talk about this guy in pre-workout.
600 milligrams yesterday, just sitting here editing. 600 milligrams. My boy kept walking in. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" He's like, "Yo, is that another energy drink?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." I could clear this table off and take a nap right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's the reason you have the Apple Watch for the AFib. Because
you need that. You need that shit.
All right, guys, don't freak me out. All right, I hate doctors too.
Yeah.
Relax.
I mean, listen. They made me wear a heart monitor for a week, and then they were like, "All right, well, go back to your normal like workout activities. Like we want to monitor your heart. Like the only thing that they put me on, I want to say it was beta blockers and some other kind of heart medication, which I'll honestly say like drove me crazy. Like they really I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with anybody that's been on.
What is a beta blocker? Because I've heard it before. I just don't know what it is.
It's medicine for your heart, like pills for your heart, get the heart strength and all this stuff, blood thinners, stuff like that. The exact terminology I don't even remember. I care not to remember because it was the first time my body was introduced to something like that, to the point where like I'd have like insane mood swings. Like I just I'd be talking to you guys here like right now, just calm, and then the next minute I'd be like, "Oh fuck you," and like to the point where like it literally, like I tell everybody like it was driving me crazy. Like it was making me depressed. It was driving me crazy.
Happens to a lot of dudes on steroids too.
Yeah.
So
we
get it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was like, but like to the point where like I was never. I mean, listen, I've been depressed in my life, but like to the point where like I was like this sucks, man. Like I don't know what to do. Like 1 minute I'm one way, the next minute I'm another. So long story short, they read all my levels when I did my workouts. I did everything. And they took me off it. They got me off the heart medication, which I was so happy for. So now I had to deal with the pec. So I go to my physical therapist out in Syosset, right around the corner from where you and Trav shot, right there by the CrossFit gym over there. And lucky for me, he tore both his pecs. This is a 50-year-old, jacked, kind of crazy, like kind of how I'm probably going to be and want to be when I'm 50.
It's a common injury, actually, especially in bodybuilding world.
I came close twice in my pec.
Yeah, I mean the mine, like I ripped it from the bicep head, like it was
Oh,
bad. To the point where like I go to him and I'm like, I don't want to have surgery. Do I need to have surgery? He's like, you don't need to have surgery. He's like, I did it twice. I didn't have surgery on either one. He's like, what are you trying to do? I was like, I'm trying to play this season again. I was like, it happened in preseason. So the opening, I was trying to get a repeat. We had just won the championship for D2. We were in D1. I wanted, we had a great schedule. I was like, I want to win. I was like, I want to play. Probably one of the most grueling experiences I've ever had. Now, picture a torn muscle and a grown man with, crazy strength just massaging.
Oh, yeah.
This torn muscle 3-4 days a week, and then trying to rehab it and get it stronger. He did it. I mean, I was back on the field for the opening game, like maybe 2 months later. Had it taped up, little ginger, whatever. I didn't play. So I played the opening game. We won. I didn't play the next, I want to say maybe game or two. Then we played FDNY, which I have great games against those guys. Came out, smoked them. We beat them. We play NYPD the next week.
Oh.
Feeling good. Still feeling all right. I make like this circus catch on the sideline. Everybody's cheering. Next play, I go to run, and my arm won't move. On the other side, I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I'm trying to run. I'm like, oh, crap. I'm like, my arm won't move. So I come off. I think I got a stinger. I come off the sideline. The trainer's working me out. He's like, is this the side with the pec? I'm like, nah, the pec's the right side. I'm like, this is my left side. I'm like, what's going on? So I go back in. He's like, oh, you just got a stinger. So I go back in, and like I'm to the point where I'm running, like holding, like, and I come out, and I'm like, yeah, I think I tore something. I did something. So we go in for halftime, and like my whole family had just got there, and I come walking out, football pants on, cleats still on, my top is off, my shoulder pads are off. I come walking out there, and once again, friggin' poor girl, like same girl. She's like my nephews, everybody's in the stands. They're like, I think that's Uncle Kaz, and she's like, yeah, let's go. We're probably going to the hospital. So I come in and walk. She's like, what'd you do? And I'm like, I can't move my arm. She was like, really? Friggin' tore my rotator cuff.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be something with the heart. You were freaking me out.
No. So I tore the pec on the right side, battled back from that, played a couple of games, and then I tore my rotator cuff. So didn't have surgery again. Went to the same mad scientist that helped me with my pec. But after that, I was done. I was like, you know what? Yeah. I can compete. I'm that crazy, but this is God telling me to sit down, man. Like,
chill a little bit.
Yeah, just chill a little bit.
And here you are. How many seasons now? Now you're playing.
I played. And you know what?
Coming up, what's this one now? with at least boldest.
Geez, I mean, I started with boldest in 2013.
Is that when you started the job?
No, actually, I got on the job in 2008. Back when it was good. When I mean, not say it wasn't good, but things weren't under the microscope like they are now. Like you could do things back then.
Be a little freer.
Yeah, you can't. Listen, I'll say to most people that know me, they know. Listen, I like to fight. I didn't go through years and years of karate not to know how to take care of myself. I did security in nightclubs for years. I'm talking.
That was your personal business.
Yeah,
too.
I'm talking about hardcore spots where I watch guys get shanked on the dance floor. I've watched guys get shot. So it wasn't that much different going into jail, and it wasn't like I picked a career, I had a meeting with somebody the other day. They were like, oh, what made you want to be a correctional officer? I was like, I kind of just fell into it. My dad's a retired detective. He's like, take every civil service test you can. Which
I feel like most people that
most
are in the
people,
civil service jobs.
And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be law enforcement civil service. It's just civil service in general because you don't have to work forever. You get a pension, you do your 20, 25 years, and then you go about your business. So I had just taken a series of tests, and corrections called me. I went in. I had fun. I had a lot going on in my life at that time. My best friend had died that summer. Had just marriage had just went south. So I was like, let me take the job. Let me go in there, do it. Got into a use. They call it a use of force, but it's a fight. I got into a use of force my first night on the job. They give you this OC and they give you all the stuff that they tell you to use,
which that doesn't even work on the prisoners half the time. I heard.
No, it does. I mean, it's gotten stronger since it was back then, but I mean, now it's like anything. Like I've gone years and years knowing how to use my hands and feet, and then now you want to tell me that, well, use this first. Like, no, I didn't know that. Captain was doing something. Inmate jumped up and just.
Hit him.
What are you doing? I'm like, oh, well, Yo, Cap, I know how to fight. I never had OC before,
Yeah, I never needed it.
Maybe now that doesn't fly. Like now, I'd probably
I'm
be
sure.
somewhere in charges, in handcuffs. What I do now, I probably would have went and got myself back then.
Now let me ask you this: do the prisoners or the people that you're around, do they know how much more strict they are with you guys, and do they take advantage of that?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna
listen, it's like kids and their parents, right? We know we can get away with this. I mean, you even talking about that, like growing up, I got my ass kicked, man. Like my mom beat the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But listen, it put me on that straight path. Now kids are like, I mean, listen, even my little sisters, like, you ask her what a beating is, they probably be like, what? What's that? But like, I mean, I had sticks that said Kaz, Jesus saves. I had extension cords. I had everything, man. But you know what? I look back at it now, man. My journey so far, it's been great, but I mean, my mom kicked my ass. My mom was the disciplinarian, not my dad. My mom,
That's my mom.
My mom's hardcore, man. I don't mess with my mom. Even to this day, I still won't mess with my mom. Now you're talking about I got law enforcement, black belts, everything. I still
Nah, man.
Hey, jump, okay, mom, hi.
Yeah.
So, but it was different back then. The job was different. And I took it, and I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. Let me get in there, make some money. Probably wasn't in the right mindset to do it. I think I kind of took the job to escape what I was going through. I really didn't deal with my friend dying. I really didn't deal with the gravity of a marriage, dissolving and falling apart. So to the point where I think I stayed for about a year and a half, and then I left. I took some time off. I went to another agency, then I did some personal security stuff, and honestly, that helped me grow, helped me just figure out a couple things.
Especially when you're in business for yourself, it teaches you
Yeah.
a whole other mindset and hunger for grinding.
I mean, listen, I've talked to you about this. I mean, when I got back into the security world, it was I had made a lot of people money, So like I ran. So like if you had a company, I had the connections. I'd be like, I can get us this club, I can get us that club. I'll do this. So you kind of just you profited off of me,
right.
To the point where it was like relationships started getting severed, and it was like I was depositing checks for the venues I was working at, and now here you are the boss saying, oh well, the payments are going to be late. The guys can't get paid on time, and I'm like, how are you telling me the guys aren't going to get paid on time? The venue gave me the check; it's on time. Everything's in the bank. Like, how you? So now not really knowing the backbone of the business. Well, you know what? They're taking that money because it's on time to pay back. Guys who didn't get paid 2 weeks ago. They're floating it around.
And tax and everything.
And and I'm fine with that. And my thing with that was like, dude, if that's what's going on, just tell me. Like, because now if you guys are working for me, like if I hire you guys just off the street or wherever, you don't know the guy. You may know his name, but you don't know that guy above me. You just know me, So
we come to you.
Yeah. So now if I'm coming to you telling you guys, oh, you're not going to get paid on Friday, you don't care about that other guy because you don't deal with him. You deal with me. And I had a big problem with that. And then on top of that, like, now here I am. I was younger than a lot of guys that worked for me. I just had a knack for doing the business. I was one of those guys where I knew the clean cut look would get you some contracts. It would get you this. It'll get you ahead. But I also knew that there was a lot of guys that they were doing the bouncing stuff, the security stuff for their reasons. They might have had child support. They didn't want stuff on the books. There's some guys that did it 5-6 nights a week. Like imagine if this is your lifeline, and I'm telling you, you're not gonna get paid on time. Like, I used to tell the guy I used to work for, I'm like, yo, I'm not going to fight these guys. If you're telling me they're not getting paid on time, I'm sending them to your house.
Yeah, I'm pointing them over there.
Yeah, like, let them go fight you because, like, there's no way. And then now it's just bad. It was just bad for business because now it's getting back to the owner that's cutting the check. And he's saying, well, why are my guys getting paid when I'm sending the money on time?
Right.
So that kind of catapulted me into, I'm just going to do this myself. Let me start up my own company. Let me do this. Me and my dad, we got into it. And, it worked for a little bit. Once again, not knowing the backbone of how the business really works, all the taxes. And, we took a big L the first year. I mean, insurance, you name it,
Yeah.
I mean, I think up until 2 years ago, I was still getting sued by somebody that just wanted some money for something that we didn't even have anything to do with. So I got out of that. And then, I was like, screw it, let me go back to the job. Had a new hire date. I went back to corrections. Things were a little different now. I was a little older, a little smarter.
So have they accepted you back in just like
yeah,
that?
yeah.
That's
I mean,
cool.
I still had to go through the background and all that stuff because I had been.
But you didn't have to go through the academy and shit, right?
I actually did the academy again.
Oh,
And
okay.
It was cool. It was fun.
Little refresher.
Listen, the academy was working out, man. It was just working out. Book smart. I mean, I was actually a smart kid. You know, I mean, I didn't get smart till I got to college when I had to pay. I had to pay for the education, but you know, but I went back through the academy. Then I was going back to the same jail I was assigned in, and then somebody pulled some strings and got me into, we call it the easy jail, the sentence jail. But I mean, to me, sentence, not sentence, the inmates in there, they're still inmates.
They're still assholes.
Yeah,
They're going to be assholes to you guys.
I still don't want to be there.
I'm not gonna call everybody an asshole, you know.
Well, yeah, of course. You get a mixed. You may get a mixed crew. And not
yeah.
It's in life too, and not everybody's gonna be a piece of shit. But
I mean,
they're out there.
100%. You know,
especially in a jail setting, there's probably more of them.
Yeah, of course.
And I said I wouldn't talk about it, but like even with the bail reform now, right? Like a lot of the good guys, a lot of the good people that, you know, listen, you get a guy that's in there for a DWI. He's not a piece of shit. You know, he just made a bad decision.
Fucked up,
you know, now with the bail reform and stuff like that, that guy doesn't get in there. You know, he doesn't go to jail and stay in jail like that. You know, so I dealt with a lot of guys like that. I mean, I had some crazy run-ins with. I mean, I used to live at Synergy in Franklin Square, and you know, when I got to this jail, I bounced around a lot. You know, word gets out when you could hold yourself and you present yourself a certain way. So I kept getting bounced around to the high class areas, and so me and a couple of my friends, a couple of my partners, we were like, listen, let's just grab a housing area and just like. You know, you take it on the 7 to 3, I'll take it on the 3 to 11, so that way we're all in the same area. We could swap tours. So we took a housing area, and it was a high-class housing area. I mean, you're talking about, I had one of the high-ranking Latin kings in my house. I had a handful of Bloods, and I had you know, I mean, and we had the motto where, we're all men, 50 men in one room. Like, you know, shit's gonna happen. You know, it's just, you know, we had 3 rules. Don't disrespect us. We're not gonna disrespect you. There's going to be fights, just as long as you know when we get there and say it's over, it's over. And when the white shirt walks in, shut the hell up, let them get in and get out, and we'll go about our day. And we controlled a lot of stuff in our housing area. But the most thing that people respected is that we were men. Like
you were real with each other.
Yeah.
No bullshit, no fluff.
It wasn't about you were wearing a inmate uniform. I was wearing a correction officer.
Yeah, you're
uniform.
not above anybody.
It was just it was like, you know, if we stripped down naked, we both got the same thing hanging. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them respected that. I mean, listen, it'd be real. You know, I get on the floor, 50 men. I say, listen, you know, y'all want to fight? We could fight. You know, I mean. Unless you train to fight, I'm like 9 times out of 10, you're not going to beat me. I'm not saying I could beat everybody, but unless you're doing this on a daily basis, like my skills are probably a little more sharper than yours. Mm-hmm. And dude respected that, you know, and I mean, it was to the point where like we would shut inmates down, we would shut people down in front of the bosses. Like, you know, like if you were my supervisor and you came in, an inmate wanted to talk to you, don't talk to him, ma'am. Don't talk to him, sir. Nah, he ain't talk to me about it, so he don't talk to you about it. You know, but that's the way I was groomed. That's the way I was brought up with the old school officers that taught me. And I had no problems with that. I mean, I loved it, but then now I had to start thinking long term, and I wanted to think about when I leave this job what I was going to do next. So I started taking some classes, started taking some certifications, got into investigations. Some spots opened up, and then I transferred over into what our department is like the IAB of the department.
What's IAB?
So it's basically like the Internal Affairs Bureau,
okay.
like same thing. Like basically, you know, we look at staff.
Yeah. So now let me ask you real quick before you talk about the next journey of what you transitioned into. Psychologically, that must have been tough though, working in the jails, even though with a background where you know how to fight and you came up strong, shit like that, but almost like that war mentality all the time. I would think that it's
all
tough.
the negativity at least.
Yeah, but you know, for me, like you got to understand too, where I came from security, where I came from nightclubs. So who goes to nightclubs most of the time? Drug dealers, gang members, you know, the street dudes. Like I was already in that environment. It was just now I'm in it. And you know what? Funny enough, I used to see a lot of these guys that used to come through there. I used to remember them from the clubs, you know, like you know, like I would see these guys. I'm like, oh, I remember that dude. He used to do this. He used to do that. Like, you know, because when they were out there, they were always in packs too. So, I mean, I was fine with it. I mean, and it was weird being in the jail environment. Like, I had some guys that I graduated that they were military guys and they were straight and narrow, and you'd be like, oh, he's gonna be good in there, and he'd go in there and he'd fold. And then you have the guy that was like the little pushover, and oh, he's not gonna make it, and he would make it. It's really your mindset.
It's an interesting atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, it really, the population, a lot of inmates, they taught me how to do the job in the beginning because, listen, and at first I was, people may think I come off as arrogant, and at first I was like, you know what, screw you, I'm not listening to you, I'm not gonna let you tell me the wrong way to do it. And then a couple times it bit me in the ass, and I was like, you know what, I remember I had an incident where they get like a hot pot, like at night they get like a hot pot to boil their water so they can have tea, coffee, whatever they want to have. And they were doing something in the housing area I was working in, and they were getting all like crazy and disrespectful. So I'm from 0 to 1,000 back then. I'm like, all right, fucking broke the hot pot, threw it across the room. Now a couple of them they're getting crazy. Now I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna fight. And then I had an old timer. He's like, youngster. He's like, listen, there's ways to get things done and there's ways not to get things done. He's like, you could have just pulled the cord. He's like, you ain't have to break it, because now when the people that had nothing to do with that want to get some hot water in the morning, now we suffering because of what these fools did. I said, wow. I said, all right, cool. You're right. So they teach you the job. But I learned a lot in there, and it was no problem, man. I ended up having one of my good friends as my partner, and like, it wasn't even like we were at work half the time. We were just chilling on the street, like talking, like we'd work, and I knew how to run it. Like, we knew how to run it. We worked good together. So
I'm gonna jump in real quick. So what's the difference between one of those housing units versus I guess somebody in jail?
So the way Rikers is set up is you have some cells. You have some housing units that have cells, and then you have some housing units that are just dormitory style. So what really depended on where you got placed was maybe your classification, what kind of crime you were in for. So sometimes you have protective custody. Those guys would be put into a cell area. So really the determining factor of where you got placed was what you were in there for. And then listen, everybody gets bounced around. So everybody used to say, oh, you guys work in the sentence jail. It's you don't got any criminals in there. They're not hardcore, but the guys that are in the other jails that are going back and forth to court that have the serious crimes, eventually they become sentenced and they come to our jail. So it's essentially the same kind of inmate. You can say all the stuff you want, but it doesn't matter. You still have to have a certain mindset to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we never had any problems, man. It was good. I mean, me getting out of there was more so what I want to do after. I got 9 years left, and it's kind of like, what am I going to do in 9 years? Like, I want to go do investigations for a Fortune 500 company, and make $200,000 and travel all over the world, So that's what my setup is. That's my end game, So I had an opportunity. I got into where I'm at now. Do people look down upon it? Sometimes, it's like you're investigating your own. I mean, but like I say to a lot of my friends, like, dude, if your name comes across my desk, it comes across my desk for a reason. Nothing that I did, something that you did. And if it's nothing that you did and it's something that somebody's trying to put out there on you, I'll find out if it's BS, and then you'll be good.
Yeah.
And I say to people, like, I wasn't an asshole in jail. If you guys worked with me and I saw you in the corridor and I said, hey, what's up? Just because I wear a suit and tie now and I see you in the corridor, I'm still going to say what's up to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, I wasn't that kind of guy. I've always been that way. I had an incident where, like I was saying before, I worked out in Synergy in Franklin Square, and I had an inmate in my housing area, and he was pressing me. He's like, "Oh, can you call? Can you do this?" And and officers have the tendency to say, "Yeah, I'll call," and then they never do it. But I actually called and was listening to what this guy was saying, and turned out what his beef was true. I made the phone calls. I facilitated everything for him. I went out on my days off, and he got released. I'm in the gym like a couple months later. And guy approaches me. He's like, "Hey, Minott, what's up?" And I'm like, so I look at him. He's like, I know you don't remember me. I was like, I don't remember your name. I remember your face. And he was like, I just wanted to thank you, man. He's like, they were holding me in Rikers for a NASA hold that had got taken care of. And because you called and got it straightened out for
they
me,
realized.
they released me. And I was like, oh, all right. I mean, that could have been good or bad, but it just wasn't that, I was an asshole. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. If you're an asshole to me right off the gate, I'm gonna be an asshole back,
Yeah.
Like it's
a respect thing. That's how the world should be.
Yeah, the force meets the force. It's equal equals equal. Like if you come at me a certain way, I'm gonna come back. If you come at me calm, I'm gonna be calm with you. And that was really humbling. And then, and I got into what I do now. It's not the easiest thing to do. I mean, listen, if somebody does right or wrong, like, telling somebody that they're going to lose their job or they're going to, I don't know what you got at home. I don't know what your family situation is. You may be the breadwinner. I mean, you still got to have a heart. I mean, listen, I work with people that they don't give a fuck. They're just going to be ruthless.
Yeah.
But
They just slit a throat. They keep walking.
Yeah,
I know you told me, I don't want to bring the story up on here because it's obviously something that kind of went on, but you told me what happened briefly, the restaurant types thing.
Shit
like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
which I'll tell you off the air because I don't want to keep shit like that out there. But it's crazy. People fuck up. They make mistakes, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and you got people got families. I mean,
but even like you said to me, I forget what you said, but you said you always got to keep your badge on because you always got to be.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's some people that keep their stuff on them, and there's some people that don't.
But you're supposed to be ready, right? Is that what it is?
Well, we technically have peace officer status, so it's kind of like you can act if you want to act. You don't have to act. Listen, there's a lot of buffs out there. There's a lot of people that walk around and
like they're they're RoboCop.
That's the word we use in jail.
I know the fucking lingo.
There you go.
But I mean, cops don't care. Like cops are going to be cops. You're going to be a correction officer. I mean, listen, it's always about respect. I mean, I grew up, from my dad. Like, listen, you get pulled over, you turn on the lights, you roll down all the windows, you turn the car off. Yes sir, no sir. Whatever they ask you to do, you do. That's it. A lot of stuff that goes on in the world now with police interactions. Do I think a lot of them can be avoided? Yes, 100%. Listen, if you have a dickhead cop is going to be a dickhead regardless. If he just comes at you, he's going to come at you. Sometimes you just have to take the back seat and just say, okay, sir.
Park the ego.
Basically, because, it escalates things,
But the participation trophies don't allow people to park the ego.
No, it doesn't. They're entitled.
They shouldn't be pulled over. They're doing everything right.
They're entitled. I mean, listen.
Filming them, shit like that. What do you think? That's not going to antagonize?
I'm allowed to drive 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean.
That shit drives me crazy. Listen, like you said, I know people are wrong on both sides. Mm-hmm. I know it's not just people getting pulled over that are abiding by the law, and I know it's not them. And sometimes I know it's not the cop, and most of the time I know it's not the cop either. Like both devil's advocate, both sides. Mm-hmm. But like when you start recording the cop in his face, acting like you got a law degree, shut the fuck up. What do you think? That's not going to piss anybody off?
I mean, listen,
bite the bullet, man.
They're good. They're good cops that do their job the right way, and they're cops that just do it. The guys that were picked on, and they got a badge and a gun. They got authority.
I know a lot of those.
Listen, it is what it is. I mean, I still act the same way today with a badge and a gun that I did when I didn't have one. Even when I get pulled over today, I still roll down my windows. I make sure my hands are visible. It comes up. They ask me whatever questions. I mean, listen, and I'm not even one of those guys that I sit there and I throw out my shield and ID, and even with the type of ID or shield that I have, it's not like the regular.
Doesn't guarantee shit.
Yeah, and they're actually going to start passing that. That stuff doesn't get you out of doing anything bad anymore. Like, you get pulled over, you get pulled over. Like, it doesn't matter if you got a badge, a shield, if you're a family member or not. Like, all that stuff's going to stop soon.
I do the same thing that you do though. Yeah. Windows down, left hand out the car. Right hand on the steering wheel, all lights on, and I even turn the car off and I put the keys on the roof. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. It's funny too because when I get pulled over, like I'm a neat freak. Like I'm OCD. Like I probably should get checked out. Like so like my car is crystal clean. Like it's pristine. Like I mean, even if you look in my car, you're gonna be like, wow, there's nothing. My trunk is clean. Like there's nothing. Like everything's where it's supposed to be. Like I got nothing to hide, man. Like it's like pull me over. You can
search through.
I had this cop in Freeport. This cop pulled me over.
Freeport cops are interesting.
He's pulled me over.
I got pulled over by Freeport.
Guy pulled me over once. First time. Comes out real mechanical. Hi, I'm Officer such and such. Blah blah blah. Why do you have these violations on your car? So I had tail light covers, the plastic ones. And I had my windows tinted. And it was at a point where I even had my front windshield tinted. So I was like, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I know I'm not supposed to have them. Okay, cool. Let me go. Maybe a month or two, maybe 2 months later, same guy pulls me over again. Oh, but now this time he writes down my information because obviously now they started doing the big sting with the tints in the shops and where you're getting it done, because now they're not just going after you, they're going after the shop to see if they're tinting your car, or passing your car in inspection with tints. So that kind of got on my nerves a little. So then what did? Listen, you want to stop getting pulled over? Just take away the things that they're pulling over you. Stripped all the window tints off. I actually changed I took off the plastic covers. I mean, I was being a dickhead, and so instead of the plastic covers, I actually just got my taillight tinted. Hey, sir, it came from the factory like that. What are you gonna?
That's what I say.
Yeah,
that's what I say. Oh, last owner had it. The tints have been on since I got the car.
So, but you know what? I haven't been pulled over since. So, but yeah, man, it's always gonna be stuff like that, man. It's and the job is the job, man. It's good. I mean, it's a lot of mental toughness. I mean, like I said, I get challenged all the time. I'm still that same way. I know my boss not challenged me, but I had a couple old cases I had to do, like a crazy deadline, because people leave and then you get reassigned stuff, and they were basically like, you got to have all those closed by the end of the year, and I was like, okay, I will. And then, now I'm getting into meetings and we're having talks, and they're like, oh, well, how you doing with this? How you doing with that? And I'm kind of like, yo, just let me do my thing. Stop asking me, like, you told me you wanted them by then. I'm going to have them by then. Like, because I'm not going to give you the power to say, we told you to do it and you didn't do it. Like, that's just something I'm not going to do. Like, I'm not going to give you that overhead on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. People be pressing you. It's like, okay, fuck
sure
whatever you want, man.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, man, that world is crazy. I work with a lot of good people. I work with a lot of not good people. It served its purpose. Make some good money. Do crazy hours.
Your OT is crazy. You're always working, man.
I'm always working.
You're
I'm
out there
always
hustling.
out. Yeah.
But I will say, I do love that, and I know John will agree with me on this just because the mindset is there.
Yeah.
I love that you're setting yourself up for post
absolutely
corrections work,
Yeah,
because how many people do you know? They're just doing the job, doing it, and then the time comes and they're like, they're scrambling. They're like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Time to scramble.
Yeah, it's no scrambling, planning.
Man, listen, but you gotta go through a lot of stuff in life like that prepared. I mean, listen, when I was running the clubs, man, I was making money. I mean, I had motorcycles, I had cars. I remember I got into an argument with my ex like one year. I went to, I think, a Gucci or a Louis store, and I bought her like 3 bags. And she's like, I don't need all this. And I'm like, the fuck you mean you don't need all this? I'm like, yo, I can buy it, so take it. Like, I didn't realize then what I realize now. And, I mean, it was to the point where, like, I never had a credit card or anything. I'd leave the house with, like, no less than $1,000 in my pocket.
Damn.
And then if we were going places, I didn't pay for shit anyway because I knew everybody, because they used to always come to our clubs. Like, the lifestyle I lived back then was insane. And then, honestly, the money that I threw away back then was probably even worse, So I'm glad for the journey that I went through, like, learning how to, overcome. When I got back on the job, I was making $600 every 2 weeks, man. Like, I had my own apartment. I had a car note. I had car insurance.
Like we said before, it ain't cheap living in New York.
No,
Yeah, man.
exactly.
And you know what? Like, it taught me how to really hustle. And unfortunately, like, listen, there were some bills I knew I couldn't pay that time. So listen, I had to move that to that. I had to do that. Like,
Prioritize.
I was like, I was a hustler. And then now, like, I make money. I mean, listen, I'm still not making great money. I mean, I make good money. I mean, it's crazy when you look at, like, on paper, it looks like I made 120.
But what's funny? That great money everywhere else in the world just gets you by in New York.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but you also, to a degree, and I have friends that debate this with me all the time, and you guys are more than welcome to throw it out there as a debate, but you're not going to make the same money in all these other places. Like, I have a buddy who, every time I talk to him, it's my godson's father, and he's always talking about, oh yeah, I just want to move down to North Carolina. I'm like, why? Oh, do you know the house I could get down there? Yeah, I know the fucking house you get down there. Do you also know that you're 30 minutes away from everything and you're in the middle of nowhere? Yeah. And do you really think that you're going to get he's a mechanic. He was working for Range Rover. Now he just got a job with Porsche. So I'm like, you really think you're going to be making the money that you're making up here that you're going to make down there? Absolutely
chance.
not, dude. And your girl's gonna be able to just get the same job that she has up here down there?
Nope.
No fucking shot.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like I did a breakdown. Like I did good. The last couple of years I did 100 plus. But then like when you really break it down and look like, yeah, I might have did 120, but what did I actually bring home? I brought home 50, 60.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. So now you're really talking about like you maintain a lifestyle off of $60,000. Let's say if that's what it is. Like you're talking about a mortgage, a car note, like kids, like whatever you may have going on, like it's crazy, but people don't see that. People look at like, oh, I made 120 on the books. Yeah, man, what'd you make last year? I made 120.
What the IRS raped you out of on the way out.
Yeah.
And it's just mind blowing. So going through what I went through at the time, it was like I respect it. Like being able to make $1,200 a month,
And that's wild. I mean,
yeah.
that's
buy on it.
and what's crazy about that is I was making more at retail. I was making more working at Apple.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what drew me. Like when I first left, when the first time I left the job and I went back to security, like $600 a week. I was $600 every 2 weeks. I was making that maybe in one night. I mean, I was doing one of the major clubs.
Cash, and then you get to show what you want to the IRS.
Yeah. Listen. It was the amount of money that we used to pull in at some of these clubs were crazy. I mean, I had nights where I'd bring home like $2,500 in a night. There was one year that I made so much money. I think I worked a lot on the books. I think I probably pulled 75 on the books, and I probably never touched maybe not even like maybe a small amount of that because I made so much cash and tips and just doing side things. Like it was insane. Like but it's humbling, man. It's the whole experience, man. The whole journey. Where you start and where you get to now. It's funny, and it's always an ongoing process, man. Like
Learning, developing. It's
yeah. I mean,
stages.
it's mental stability too, man.
Because think about if you banked all that money. Think about if you didn't drop all that money on the cars, on the bikes. Because more than likely, let's say you were making that kind of money now, more than likely, and you could tell me 100% or not, you would be banking all that money and you would be investing it and putting it in different accounts and shit like that.
CDs and all that stuff, man. Of course. I mean, but you have to go through that stuff.
Otherwise, you won't know.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, man, it's crazy. Like, everybody has their way of thinking, man. We're all our own worst enemies. And it's kind of like last year was a big year for me, like mentally, just spiritually. Like I'm like the type of person, like I keep a lot of stuff in. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody would know what was going on in my life, like because I really don't exhibit. I don't really want to give you too many clues. But I had some real low points last year, man. Like it was to like some of the times, like I kind of contemplated if it was worth even living. Like that's how crazy it was. And for me to say that, like I love life. I love my family. I love my relationships that I have. But I was just going through things, man, and it got to the point where like, dude, I really contemplated it, and it's always funny because like when I was thinking that I was really down, one that helped me training always helps me. I mean, like some of the worst times in my life, like people look at you, they be like, oh man, you're ripped, you're in shape, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like I wish I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because like those minutes, those seconds, those hours that I'm in that environment, I don't got to think about anything else. Like I go to yoga. I go to hot yoga, man. I disappear.
Have you done hot yoga yet?
No, never hot yoga.
I got to bring you. I don't know if that'll help you with your breathing, though.
That would make it worse.
No, it actually helps, man.
I'll die.
So his whole thing is like he's got.
I have like an 85% deviated septum.
Okay.
So I can't breathe on a good day.
That's why he's always got to like move away from the mic because there's his shit. He can't breathe efficiently.
Well, no,
they said
they messing me up bad.
Oh, so didn't know.
And they said they said they want to do surgery on him, but he's afraid it's going to change his voice.
I just want to get a second opinion. Like, hey, is that going to fuck up my vocal cords? Not my vocal cords, but
the tone,
the echo,
the white Barry White. I got you. Yeah. I got you. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if it's protruding from the mouth, but the echo from the nose letting any other sound come out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's a dedicated man to his.
I'm
to
sure
his
it'll be
calling.
fine.
I get you.
Not looking to fuck it up.
Listen, I get you. You start getting out there doing those voiceovers and everything.
That's what he's trying to do.
That's what I'm trying to do now. Yeah. That's why I brought the mic in instead of leaving it here.
Yeah, he's been taking it home with him.
Okay. I hope that's the only thing you're doing when we take it home.
He's actually. We should actually do a side business of you just recording, like talking dirty.
That's what I'm saying. And hey, listen, I take it home. But like, listen. I want to set the mood. Like, I'm just gonna have you playing over
Nikki's
Alexa.
gonna start shooting porn. I'm gonna voice over all of it
But
as he enters the room.
You want me to start? What if I'm already knee deep into it?
Yeah, man.
Silky Johnson, bro. I'm one of the hottest directors in the game right now.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
But you were saying
Yeah, man,
yoga, recovery.
Yeah.
You start doing hot yoga.
Listen, man. It's just my escape, man. It's just my way to cope with everything. Because, like, it's funny. Like, I got a guy, when I was going through my last one of my last marriages, started talking to a shrink, whatever. Everybody does it, It doesn't mean anything to do with the job. It's just I needed somebody to talk to. I needed someone to talk to that wouldn't have an opinion
Outside the group,
outside
of,
like
friends, family, shit
because
like that.
everybody's always going to have an opinion. Everybody's always going to say you should do this, and that opinion is going to be based on either their experiences or experiences that other people that they know have had. And I didn't want that. And it got to the point, man, where I was really down. I was like, this, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. And I remember I slipped and I said that to one of my partners, and my partner goes to me, he's like, you said you want to do what? He's like, nah, man, you're stronger than that. I was like, dude, I'm just broken right now. I just really need, and he told me, he's like, go back to doing what you do, man. Just focus, get back up. I had to change the way I thought, man. I had to go back old school, like
reteach yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's something as simple as like, and I'll give you a perfect example, right? You like drinking alcohol, but you drink a bottle or two, you're gonna wake up with a hangover. You still drink the alcohol.
Yeah.
And then when you deal with it the next day, you're like, fuck, I shouldn't drink the alcohol.
Yep.
Just stop that kind of thinking. It's just like I eat clean. I know if I go on, like, if I had a Wendy's or a McDonald's, that it's just gonna fuck me up. But you know what? In that moment, I want that Wendy's or McDonald's.
Yep.
Because I'm seeing past what's gonna be the after effect. Like, just curb that thinking. Like, if you know that this is gonna be the result, then just don't do it. And I had to like retrain myself.
There's this dude, David Meltzer, who I reposted on my story recently. Josh York. He came in for a podcast, CEO of Gym Guys. Fucking amazing. If you guys haven't listened to it, you would definitely love it. But if you haven't listened to that podcast episode, it's just 45 minutes of straight motivation. I mean, he's awesome.
Yeah.
But when I shot his conference in Arizona this past year in August, he had David Meltzer come in, who sports management, law school. His whole thing is, there may be more talented people than me, but they're not going to outwork me. So if what they do in 8 hours, I can do in 18 hours of work in a day, and I'll pass them within a week of time put into the job, and I'll just keep getting better. And his whole thing is, it's not a matter of doing something that you love; it's learning to love what you do. And big thing for him with mindset. He has a lot of posts about mindset. Phenomenal. I can't recommend his page enough. But one of the things he says is, when you wake up in the morning, say thank you. First thing you do, open your eyes. Takes you a while, because you'll forget. And you may not remember for a couple of days, weeks, stuff like that. But the more consistent you are, obviously it becomes more actionable, and it becomes something that you do on the regular. But his whole thing is, wake up, say thank you. Before you go to bed, say thank you. Starts to program the mindset and wire it in a positive, I'm happy to be here doing what I'm doing, and the day is gonna just get it started on the right foot.
I get it, man. I get it. It's funny because you take it into, like, most people, like, so like I said before, I'm a little neat freakish and OCDist, but my first thing, I get out of bed, I make the bed. There was a speech I heard, and even my dad put me onto it, but that's the first thing you accomplish for that day.
Yeah. And so if you do nothing else for the rest of the day,
you
did that.
You did that, and you set it up. You set the rest of the day up. You set everything else up from there. And listen, I mean, we all get distracted. We all go down certain roads, and it's funny because and sometimes, and most honestly, recently, I had some people tell me, like, you know what, you need to change the way you think. Like, like, I'm also the type of person, like, I know my faults. Like, I'm stubborn. I'm a freaking Capricorn. I know I'm stubborn, and I like things my way. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna force me to do something. If you say, hey, let's go work out, you're giving me the option to if I do or if I don't want to. But if you say we're going to work out right now, I feel like you're forcing me to do it. I'm gonna fight that. You know, it's not the best way to think. You know, and
but you
You're
know
standing your
how
ground.
you know how you are. And you accept it.
And listen, I've had some major life issues where that's been a big problem for me. Where it's just like, you know, I don't care what you're going through. I don't want to do this. So, you know, and like I said in the post, after you made the video for me and I put it up, and I said, you know, I haven't gotten it right yet, but I'm close. Because, you know, once you get it right, then that's it. But getting it right is learning from your past mistakes, and not even mistakes, just experiences, you know, especially relationships, you know, like it's funny, you know, and like speaking of relationships, right, you know, especially dealing with women, right, this is the craziest thing. And I was thinking about this the other day when I was working out. You can be with someone for a week, a month, years. They know your deepest, darkest secrets, right? They know everything about you. And one little thing could set it off, and then that person can be gone from your life forever. Like, that's a big void. That's like, you know, some people can't handle that. And for a long time, I had a problem with, like, relationships being severed like that, you know, regardless.
Did you have an issue being transparent, or was it the relationships in general
listen, you know,
coming to an end?
I'm really, well, so, you know, for a long time, I used to get you know, I was out dating. I used to get well, how are you single? How are you this? How are you that? And I used to tell people, listen, I'm A, B, and C. And then in the beginning, they say, oh, you know what, A, B, and C's all right. And, you know, it's cool. And then once you get into it, and then you see what A, B, and C is, then you like, well, I can't do this. But I told you that in the beginning. I told you that I'm A, B, and C. Not saying that I will never change A, B, and C to make it, you know, D, E, F. I'm just saying, like, and it's going to be because I want to make that change, not because you want me to change or you're going to force me to change, you know. And you know, as I grow and I get older, like, in most cases, that's not the best way to think, you know, because there is compromise. You always got to compromise in something.
Well, that's what a relationship is a lot of times too.
But I had a big, you know, and like you said before, it was just the separation, like, you know, and that's why I stayed alone for a long time at a certain point, you know.
That's how I've been, man.
Yeah.
I've been like that. You know me. Since I've known you, I've been in and out of two
Greatest
longer
times,
relationships.
man. Greatest
but
times.
I stay single like in those periods, and I'm staying single, and I'm not talking to girls. Yeah. I don't even want to. Yeah. I want to just focus on me, do my thing. Yeah. And it changes your mindset.
It does.
And especially what you said before, like you hit low points.
Yeah.
And I want to preface and I want to say to anybody listening, everybody sitting in this fucking room, depression has no face, has no color, has no race, nothing. No, it does not give a fuck who you are, what you stand for. Yeah. It could hit anybody at any time. Yeah. You could be the happiest person in the entire world. You could be the loneliest and most angry person in the entire world. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Depression hits everybody, and it hits at some point for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, and it's crazy because, like, you know, like I said, when I was going through that, I was reading back on stuff, and, like, you know, you always hear the people that say, oh, I didn't know they were going through that. They should have just said something, or if they, you know. But then it takes me back, like, all right, let's say, you know, and a lot of times, a lot of the stuff is, let's say people get depressed because, let's say, money is probably one of the major causes of depression, right? So then you have somebody that may do something, you know, severe or drastic to themselves, and then, you know, you have that other entity that says, you know what, oh, they should have just talked to me or asked me something. But then what happens when that person actually does ask you, and then you tell them that you can't do it,
or you judge, and then you judge them, and then that's in the back of your mind and their mind.
So now it's going to make them. So now you're just fueling it because now they're like, well, I can't ask because now I'm going to be judged, or they're going to tell me no, or they don't have it. So then what's the point of me asking them? You get what I'm saying? So and like I said, I deal with a lot. Like, man, you know, and it's funny that you really realize it because as you get older and you go through different relationships, when someone, if you have a different person that eventually always says the same thing, it's something that's true. So I've had numerous people that I've been with, or just relationships. Doesn't have to mean a woman I was dating, but I have numerous people that have said, you know, you keep everything to yourself. But you know, at the end of the day, it's like I said in my post, like when the dust clears, it's still me. It's always going to be me. Like you can choose if you want to be here or not. It's always going to be me. So I'm the type of person, like, I like to let it happen. I'll formulate the plan in my head. This is how I'm going to deal with it. And then, you know, when everything happens in the beginning, it's anxiety. It's like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? everybody goes through that phase, that stage, and then you take a step back, and you realize, and you start weighing your options. Okay, this can happen, that can happen. I could do this. This is how I'm going to attack this. For a long time, I really thought highly of what people thought of me. Like, oh, he didn't do this. I have a child from a previous relationship, and I barely see my son. And most people may think like, oh, he's horrible. In the beginning, I used to be like, oh my God, they're gonna think like I'm a shitty guy. I'm a bad person. I'm a bad human being, and all this stuff. So finally, I had to grow, and I say, listen, that's just the situation. That's how it happened. Like, he lives here. He's good. As long if he's never not good, if he wants to reach out to me, if she wants to reach out to me, they can. I'll drop everything and go like nothing ever happened. You know what I'm saying? But for a long point, I had a problem with like, oh my God, like, what are they gonna think about me?
A lot of people do, and it's not just you.
Yeah. I know. Yeah,
we hear it a lot in the gym. We hear it a lot with people that we know, especially.
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody has their problems.
Everybody says that they don't care what people think of them.
But you do.
But you do.
Absolutely.
I'm included in that.
Of course
I say fuck it, and I throw something up, or I'll talk, and it doesn't get love, or something doesn't talk, and it's a little hit.
Yeah.
But how you deal with that after that kind of entails it. If you're constantly worrying about what everyone thinks, you'll never get shit done.
Yeah.
So it does take, like you said, that mindset to get to the next level, and not let it affect you in fold.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is too, man, and like, I say like, last year was a rough year. I mean, listen, I had some great points last year. I don't want anybody listening to this think like, oh, he had a shitty year. Like, like, listen, man, I had some good times last year, but I also had some bad times. And no one would ever know the difference between the two. Like, I was still, I still walk into work smiling. I still, I still do my thing. I still train. I still run. But it just got to the point where like, and at a certain point too, I was going through everything. I was kind of embarrassed. I was like, well, shit, like, I'm not supposed to feel like this. I'm this, I'm that. I'm not supposed to like, and then I had to really, like I said, I had to really take a step back and like, look at my faith, I got into some spirituality, real stuff like that. I started reading a little more. And, it isn't like I said before, it's when you have more than one person saying the same thing, and it could be, I can have you saying the same thing that my mom is saying to me, and you don't even know each other. Like, and then I have another person saying it. Like, that's something that needs to be looked at. That needs to be analyzed, because you're giving off some kind of vibe. You're giving off some kind of inclination that everyone's feeling. And like I said, listen, I'm not ashamed. I don't care, man. But yeah, at some points last year it almost broke me, but put a little tape on it, there's some dirt in it, and and then get it going, and the biggest thing is that I really wasn't looking at what I should be grateful for. Like, I got a lot of shit to be grateful for, and I mean, listen, like I said in the video, like, still being able to do what I do, man. Like, I mean, listen, we don't get paid to do this. We don't get paid to play football. We get hurt. Like, we lose money. Yeah. But you know what? I mean, listen, in a couple of years when it's all said and done, I'm going to say, listen, I know me and you talked about, I analyzed like the top 5 or 10 players in the NFL right now that are 40 plus. I mean, handful of them are kickers, but listen.
Not Tom Brady.
Yeah. Listen, all right. Yeah. Listen, I could tell you though, there's not one skill player that's over 40 that's still playing in the league. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, shit, I'm still playing receiver.
Still doing your thing.
Fucking 40. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's the age doesn't mean anything. The 40 thing was just to throw it out there, 40, but age doesn't mean anything. Because listen, I probably, I just train harder. I mean, listen, you guys are younger than me. I got to train harder to look and be as strong as you guys are. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're looking at me and I'm looking at John. So
there you go.
I'm looking at Thanos.
He's looking at the cascading effect.
But yeah, man, that's really it, man. It's just it's just life, man. And I'm looking forward to the next. I got my nephews. I got my sisters. It's good, man. You gotta look at
and you got this season coming up where we're gonna get some good footage.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure people are gonna be tired of me putting out videos soon. They're gonna be like,
what was that, one?
Yeah.
That was one.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time. People put out 3 videos a day of the same shit.
Oh my God, yeah. But you know what? It hit what I wanted it to hit. Like, I didn't go out popping bottles. And, man, dude, for my birthday, I was in bed, I think, at 9 o'clock on the night before. And then the night of, I think I was in bed at, 10?
You know what? That's a big thing I have with the New Year's, because obviously this is the first podcast releasing on the New Year's.
Yeah.
So,
2020.
new decade.
Yeah.
And every single person says, you know what, this year I'm going to be better. I'm going to work out and do this. And every fucking person, for the most part, wakes up at that new year where they're going to get a fresh start, right? You ever have a morning where you stub your toe and something's wrong, you're late to work and say it's going to be a shitty day, a shitty week?
Yeah.
But you want to make this whole new year fantastic. So you're choosing, like eating the Wendy's, not feeling good. You're choosing to start that new year hungover and sleepy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My cousin wanted to. Well, I was at the gym that day.
Yeah, I know.
Your boy was shotgunning beers the night before, and he got his ass to the gym that day.
Yeah, but you're an anomaly, Nick. That's
yeah,
different.
I get shrunk with the alcohol.
That makes it fuels your veins.
So you're the guy that we could smell in the gym. Like, who the hell is that?
Who the hell is that?
Are they drinking? Is that water?
Tequila?
Yeah, is that water? Is that booze? What
Someone
is he
cutting
doing?
limes? What's going on? What does that
It's a
smell?
gallon. It's got to be water.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Oh my God! No, I forgot I was gonna say this.
Oh man, yeah,
But you at the gym.
yeah. You at the gym
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying I was there the next, I was there the next day, but I had something else to say. It'll come
to
back
start
to
the
me.
New Year's off
Yeah.
like that. But you're right,
Yeah.
man. I went to the gym yesterday. I went to the gym yesterday, man. I had to park on like the 3rd level, and it's just like the new year, the new me kind of shit. Like I hate that part of the
Oh,
year,
yeah.
it's like, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong, like. I love it. If you want to work out. I love it. Like, one thing I'm not, like, I hate people that make excuses. I can't work out. Because I'm going to tell you, if you wake up and you walk on the ground, right? So there's a ground there. You can get down on the ground. I mean, you have a ground in your house. I have a ground in my house. If you don't have one, there's one outside. Push-ups, sit-ups. You don't need a gym to do that. There's a place for you to run around. You could go run. You can walk. You don't need a gym to do that. If you're going to make an excuse like, oh, well, you know what? I don't have this area. I can't do that. Then I might say, okay, cool. Yeah, you may have an issue working out, but there's always a will.
Then you see the dudes in Africa or like the third world countries that are lifting scrap metal.
Oh my God! Like if there's a will, there's a way, man.
Exactly.
So I just remember what I was gonna say.
There you go.
He's back.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back on track. So my cousin, he gets married in May. Gets married in May.
Okay.
He says he wants to lose some weight. Okay, so obviously talking to the right one. I'll help you out. I'll tell you what you should do, this and that. So I've said it on a couple of the podcasts, the past ones. The issue that I had for a while was I'd be doing all these gym videos, and I'd feel like I never left the gym. I feel like it was work. Okay. So for a while, I stopped training. Yeah. And I gained weight. I got up to like 230, man. So like when I hit that high point, I said, fuck this. I don't feel good. I don't look good. I hate it. So I got to drop. So July came around after the dog passed. My relationship ended, shit like that. Yeah. I just said, you know what? Let's make some positives out of this. I dropped from 230 down to 199, 195.
Okay.
My new goal, because we got the bachelor party in New Orleans in April. It's gonna be an interesting bachelor party. Yeah, I might not be able to look at some of these gentlemen in the face without like, oh my God, I know what you did.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to jump down to like 185. So I got another 13, 14 pounds, and I know that'll make a big difference in my physique. But my cousin wanted to lose some weight. Fine.
Yeah.
The entire holiday week, from Christmas to New Year's, all I heard was, January 1st going to start. I'm like, why start then? You'll be 2 weeks already in front of when you want to start. Yeah. What, because you're eating shitty food? Okay, so at least go to the gym. Start getting in the motion of things. Yeah. I said, do you guys really think, Christmas Day, they were all drinking from the night before? I was too. Next morning, I was at the fucking gym hitting legs, man. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you already went to the gym? Yeah, we're not going for the next couple of days, this and that. I said, what do you think's going to happen? Do you really think in your righteous mind, do you really think that I want to be at the gym at 7 a.m. Christmas Day hitting legs? Let's just be totally real and transparent. Fuck no. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be hitting legs. I want to be laying in bed watching Netflix until I got to go to my aunt's house and celebrate with them. But I was there because I know that this is going to be the work that I have to put in that will get me to my goal. Exactly. So just like everybody else, I love my cousin, and I hope he does lose weight. But more than likely, he probably won't. He's going to fall off. He'll get tired. He's going to stop training. He's not going to eat right.
It'll be hard one day.
Yeah.
He'll get tired after I'll give him 2. He'll get tired after 2 days of really. And his whole thing is he was a college baseball player, high school baseball player. Very, very good athletic when he was younger. Very good at athletics. But, the weight's stacked on over the years. And his excuse is he goes to the gym a lot. I'm like, well, then you're not doing something right. If you are gaining weight, you're not doing something right on your diet or your training. And if you say you're training as hard as you say, oh, well, I run a mile, that means shit. Yeah. You run a fucking mile.
Can't outrun a bad diet.
Exactly.
You know, even that
That's
though.
Yeah.
But even without running a bad diet per se, your training probably isn't even near what it should be. Yeah. You're probably not training as intense. Yeah. Dude, I'm hitting legs. I'm hitting the stairs right after for 30 minutes. Yeah. Like, do you honestly think I want to be on that thing?
But like we said before, like I was telling you, like it's it's your mindset. It's even, you know, we all go through it. And like I said, you know, I made some changes. Like, you know, like now, like my schedule now is dedicated. I'm up at a certain time. I'm at the gym. I'm doing this, you know. And, you know, a lot of people will say, like, you know, like I said, I put up the post the other day. I had people, oh, I was just going to bed at that time. Oh, I was just doing that. I was like, yeah, that's good. That's you. Yeah. But, you know, and I could have been one of those people that said, oh, I'm going to start this new routine on the new year. No, once I had that epiphany and I just was like, you know what, I got to change some things. I started that day. It could have been a week before Christmas. It could have been 2 weeks ago. Like, but now if New Year's was my goal, I'm already in. Like John just said,
you're
like,
already in.
I'm already in. You know, and my results are already better. And then look, we start practice. I think we start practice the 24th. Of
you already started.
I've already. You know,
what's your boy? What's your boy's name over in Hempstead?
Oh yeah, Chris.
Chris,
yeah,
love Chris.
Yeah, CFN Fitness. Keeps me young. That's a plug. You know,
it's the stem cells.
Yeah. I started running, you know, like, you know, it's all, and then like you said with the Kai Green thing, like it's all about preparation, man. Like I know, like for instance, right? I probably have no cartilage left in my knees. I know, but you know what? So as part of my preparation, I know I have certain points where I got to go to my ortho. I get the gel shots in my knee so I can get some friction, you know, some lubrication in there. You know, I know that when I get closer to running around, I got to go to yoga 4 or 5 times a week to be stretched out. I haven't run as hard all year, but the last month, you know, I've ran every single day. You know, it's your preparation. You know, I mean, listen, like you said, you don't want to be in the gym, Chris, the day after Christmas.
And Christmas Eve, I was there.
Listen, you think that I want to get up at 3 a.m., run around pitch black, you know, run around outside, pitch black, when it's cold. And I'm telling you, I run outside. I'm not on the treadmill. I'm running outside. I don't care. If it's cold, I have a hat, I have a mask on, I have my headphones. I come home, I'm showered, I'm out the door. But you talk about preparation. All my stuff is set out from the night before. What I'm wearing to work, what I'm wearing in the gym. Like, I'm not one of those guys that I need a nice outfit in the gym, but what I'm putting on.
Shots!
Because we can talk about those guys. You know, so listen, we talk about lifting that grunge gym. I mean, you're lucky if I used to train without holes in my sneakers back then, because you know what? That's how it was. But you know,
fuck sneakers. Anybody see my posts? I train without shoes.
You got to get the work done. It doesn't matter. Like, nobody cares what the hell you're wearing. Like, you know, I make fun of some of these guys. Like, it's like the guys in the gym that they're doing legs, so all of a sudden they want to wear like the 10,000 shorts that are cut off halfway up there. Yeah. I was like, dude, come on. Like, you know.
Were you at Bev's the other day when, oh, you weren't there? Dude, for real. And I don't know if this dude listens to the podcast, because we have a lot of people that listen that we don't know. Mm-hmm. So I apologize if this is you, but like, for real, dude, the fucking shorts, I thought a nut was going to fall out. Yeah. I'm not even joking.
Oh.
It's like
I'm like, guy, you're training back. Why are you wearing those right now?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Bro.
I think so, yeah.
It was absurd. Why are you wearing these shorts? You're not training legs where you even where the excuse could remotely be. And I'm not trying to judge somebody on their attire preferences.
No, I'm judging.
But like, bro, I have to say, because I'm a host of a semi-successful podcast. But like, but like, for real, man, stop. Go put some pants on. Enough.
You know, it's funny when you talk about, like, I probably get approached by, and you would think it would be women, but I probably get approached by more guys in the gym.
That's how it is for guys.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you, I work out in a jacket like this. You know, and I've had guys come up to me like, yo, you're hiding something under there, man. He's like, I see how you work out. I see how you move. I see this. I see that. And I'm like, well, what the fuck do I need everybody else to see what I got? You know, like, it's like, you know, like, I'm here to work out. Like, I'm here to get in and get out. Like, I'm in and out of the gym, man. I say if the most 45 minutes, unless I decide to do like some extra cardio. But I'm literally in and out of the gym. My type of workouts are, I think I went over this with you. If I do arms, I'll do bis and tris in the same day. So I'll do a bi exercise, a tri exercise, and I'll do an ab exercise as my rest, and then I'm going right back into my next sets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm in and out of the gym. My heart's going. I'm getting a good sweat, and I'm going. I don't want to be in there freaking for hours. And no disrespect to people that go in there for hours. I mean, you may train the way you train, but like I don't need to. And and I see the guys in the gym. They're in the mirrors and they're lifting up their shirts and they're showing their abs, and see the younger me used to be a dickhead. So I would be the guy in the gym where, like, if you're the young guy, or not even young guy, if you're the guy on the bench and you're doing 225 and you're you know what? I was the guy back then. I go next to you. I put on 315. I lift my feet up in the air and I ask you, listen, can you give me a spot? Don't touch it. I'll get it off. And I'll just pump out 315 like 10 times.
Nice and quiet.
And then just put it back. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. I didn't, I thought I was gonna have to yell and get it out, but I was good. Thanks.
Damn, I thought I favorited it. The video that I have, it's somewhere deep. I'll have to show you guys.
Yeah.
Remember the black dude I said what's up to, Max?
Okay. Yeah.
Dude looks like a fucking mountain. Mountain. He was in the corner.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a video I have somewhere on this. It's these little white kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking sticks.
Mm-hmm.
With their shirts off in the corner of Bev's, posing together like this. Listen, I get trying to like have fun, look cool with your friends, shit like that. Like whatever, man. Like that's how you want to do it. But there's a difference between Bev's and Synergy.
Yeah, you can do that at Synergy.
Yeah.
Keep your fucking shirt on. Like this is not we got dudes like a Rosh walking around and crack the sidewalk while he walks.
Yeah.
250 shredded.
Yeah.
Keep your shirt on, man. Unless you live in that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I have the video. I'm at them posing with their shit, and I turn and Max is just sitting there shaking his fucking head, his big ass just sitting there, but fully clothed.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
That's funny.
Unless you're 1 week out of the Olympia, keep your clothes on.
They definitely weren't.
Yeah,
right.
man.
They definitely weren't.
You sure?
It's funny, man. But yeah, it's like I said, it's all about mindset, man.
Did you train this morning?
I'm going right now.
You going right now?
I'm going right now.
All right, because we've been doing this
Yeah,
way
well,
longer than you wanted to.
That's fine.
She's like, yo, we gotta.
Because you know what? I knew once we got going, we were
That's
gonna
how it
get
goes,
going,
man.
You
Yeah.
know, it's not scripted. It's not, I don't need you to stop and rewind.
No,
and
we
let
vibing.
me-
That's
and,
it.
And let me see stuff so I can make sure it's good. But it's it's all good, man.
Taking shots.
No, that's
It's all love.
It's all
That's it,
love.
man.
Listen, some people are just particular.
Trav.
Listen, that's my man. We got, listen.
The other one I shot the video with.
There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there like that, man. Listen, hey, when it comes, like, go back to a quick NASA story, and it's resonated through my football career. I remember, I go out to practice one day. So now I'm coming from high school. You're supposed to wear all your pads, man. So I come out to Nassau. I got the thigh pads in. I got the big knee pads in. I got the shoulder pads.
You
that
got the
are like
Zeke Elliott
extra-
look with
yeah.
with the crop top.
No. I wasn't there yet. So I came out, and I'll never forget, one of the probably the best receivers I ever know. I actually just started following him on Facebook. This kid, Corey Peterson, nasty receiver. And I come out, and he's like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about, man?" He's like, "Yo, you look like shit." He's like, "You can't be a part of our receiving crew and looking like that." So
Damn.
I was like, "What are you talking about, man? I got all my shit." So he pulled me to the side. So the big knee pads I had got cut down into like little circles that weren't gonna protect shit. The thigh pads that I had on, he ripped the plastic insert out of it, threw the foam out, and just said, "Hey, you're gonna use these." My sneakers, everything changed.
So you're basically playing rugby.
Yeah. So basically, it changed my whole aura and mentality. So I kind of got turned into like what they call a pretty boy. So like now it's all right. If I got white sneakers, I gotta have white socks. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. But I tell you, I don't wear any pads. The only pads I wear when I play are helmet and shoulder pads. And you're lucky if my shoulder pads have any foam in them. And that's going back to like old school Ed McCaffrey from the Broncos. Ed McCaffrey, he actually took all the padding out of his shoulder pads and he just played with plastic. So
Brady
played.
still rocks his shit from Michigan.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
but
nothing in there.
There's nothing. I mean, but you're talking about like a guy like Ed McCaffrey that played in the old NFL. We'll take your head off. You come across the middle NFL. Like he was just running around in a helmet and plastic shoulder pads because you wanted to be faster, So being an athlete, it got me out of that where I'm just like, I'm like, damn, man, I gotta protect myself. And now to the point where like I could, like, I know there's a couple games, like, we, our semi-pro league follows college rules, and, we'll get some refs that'll be like, hey, 9, you gotta put, knee pads in, and like at some point I'm like, what do you care if I tear up my knees? Like, it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You're gonna give me a penalty because I don't have knee pads in? Like we're not playing college. Well, this is semi-pro. Like, what? Like, you're not here to
go
protect
toss
me.
the coin at the other
I'm
side
like,
of the
you're not
field.
here to protect me. Like, come on, don't do that. I'm like, but I do have a backup just in case. But I mean, listen, I haven't wore pads on my legs and God knows how long. But I know where Trav's coming from. Trav got some flavor, man. He got some flavor. It's you need guys like that on the team. There's guys like that. There's guys like me and Trav. Then we got the guys on the team that we want to kick them out of the huddle because they haven't washed their shit in like months.
Boy.
But those are the guys you want on your team. You want that guy. You want that guy.
Dude's
like,
superstitious as fuck.
Yeah, like listen, he's gonna fuck somebody up. He hasn't showered or washed his equipment in like 2 months. So, but man, it's all love.
When's the first game?
We open up, I believe it's April 4th, like that first weekend of April. Cool. We're gonna be down in Orlando. Then we come back. We got our regular schedule. NYPD, FDNY. We actually got a big. We got a big game this year against the sanitation department, which is a little, ironic because we had a lot of guys that used to play for us that
go to them now
aren't going to play for us and go play for them. So that should be
interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game.
I got first week in April. I got I got the bachelor party. So I'll see you when you get back.
Yeah, because then we come back. We go on our stretch. And we're not really traveling too much this year. We got. I know we go to Orlando, then we come home. We got the usual suspects: NYPD, FDNY, DSNY. I think we're going to, like I said before, we're going to DC to play Roanoke out there for Police Week, which is gonna be dope because we're doing like almost like a double header with the fire department. So whoever's playing first, so we're playing Roanoke. The fire department is playing DC. So that's gonna be a dope game. So it's like one team will play at 1, the next one play right after. I'm sorry if I'm boring you. Then we'll go from there, and then we play. Then we have DC come here. That's our 6-game schedule. If we win 4 of the main 6 that we have, then championship, which is going to be in New York. Hopefully we'll make that, and then maybe I could ride off in the sunset after that. But I probably won't. I probably want to come back.
He'll be back next year.
Yeah, I'll probably come back for one more. So I mean, if you ask anybody, I've been retiring and not playing football for the last 5 years. So
that's
it's
all right.
It gets me something to look forward to, man. It's just
Now we're gonna get him to be like Jamal because he knows Jamal.
Oh yeah, I know Jamal.
Yeah. So
Jamal.
we're gonna get him. He'll be the next Masters Pro. That'll be the next thing after football.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, listen, my next challenge after ball is probably getting maybe another amateur fight 40 plus. Try to see if I can still rock it in the ring at an old age.
You work with Gareth.
Oh man, yeah. Let's Gareth. So Gareth, my training partner. So I'm training at UFC. So fairly new. But now I've got years of martial arts experience under my belt. Okinawa style Kempo. I did some Muay Thai. So I go to UFC. UFC is a winter wonderland for anybody that wants to study martial arts. You have wrestling, boxing, Muay Thai. You have jiu-jitsu. You have MMA, all in one under one roof. So I'm doing a no-gi class, a no-gi rolling class. So,
and what does that mean?
So basically, it's a jiu-jitsu class. And traditional jiu-jitsu, you wear a gi, which
the white.
White gi. Well, it doesn't matter what color, but white gi predominantly, and your belt. So basically, if I walk on the mat and I see you have a blue belt, I know you got purple belt, white belt.
If you match up with like.
Usually you're supposed to, but the different color belts like to prey on the little ones. So we're in a no gi class, so we're in there like in street clothes,
mixed.
You don't know who's who. I mean, you could be a newcomer and I could be a professional. So we get out there, we start rolling, and I like to go with guys. Nothing against guys smaller than me because sometimes I have a harder time with guys smaller than me. But I like to match up with guys. So I see Gareth. I'm like, all right, this dude's big. Let me go roll with him. So we start rolling. Shake hands. We get in. We start on our knees. Start rolling. Boom, guillotine choke. Tap out. Ooh. I was like, all right, shit, this motherfucker's good. So, settle up again. Shake hands. Go out again. Boom, guillotine choke again. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, now he's fucking my mind. Now I'm like, dude, I don't suck. I can fight. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Third time. So I'm going, not right away, but 2 seconds. Boom, guillotine choke again. Dude, what the fuck am I doing wrong? He's like, I'm baiting you. He's like, I want you to shoot where you're shooting. He's like, only thing I'm not doing is holding my arm out there so you could just throw your neck and head right into it. So I was like, all right, cool. So we corrected that. So he didn't guillotine choke me again. After that, he just arm barred me. But, I'm humbled with that, man. Listen, I do have a mentality like, I like to fight, listen, it is what it is. It's just like, getting into a ring and just being in that environment, like it's just animalistic. It's just, it really
primal.
shows. Yeah, it shows what you have in you. It shows how deep and how, passion. Listen, I can't beat up everybody. I'm not saying I can beat up everybody. I'll never give up. I'll never fight. Like if you're going to beat my ass, you're going to beat my ass. But it's not just because, listen, I love bodybuilders. I love those big guys. When I used to do the clubs, man, listen, I used to want the juice heads and the steroid guys to fight. I used to tell them, listen, I'll kick you 5 times before you even get that punch around, But now I know some big guys that can fight, Jamal being one of them, like somebody like Jamal, I may have to kick him in his balls, I may have to, I may have to poke him in the eye. But yeah, man, so I'm training with Gareth and, we do the rolling class and then, we started talking and like I said before, man, just a great human being, but just an animal. So we start getting into training, we're doing, my stand-up's a little, it was a little more polished than his was, or at least if you're going to ask me, it is. His ground game,
we'll ask him again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, his ground game is impeccable. I mean, and we just developed such a friendship that like, we trained together, we sparred together. And, I learned my lesson. I never went back on the ground with him again. I mean, anything we did from that point on was standing up. But, G also has the mentality of, yeah, G, we're going to go light sparring. Okay, cool. 5 minutes in, boom, bloody nose. Or like, all right, let me get the headgear. He doesn't know. He only knows 0 to 100. He doesn't know anything in between, which is good because you know what? I'd rather train with that guy. I'd rather train with the guy that's just going to go balls to the wall because then you know what? God forbid if anything happens in the street or in anywhere in life, like I'm always going to be prepared, and he just has that mentality of just like I asked him, he was getting ready for a jits competition and he was telling me he had some ailments. I was like, dude, let's go to a yoga class. So he's in the yoga class. He's stretching out. He goes. I think it was Naga. He went to one of those. So he goes. He does all right. He places in it. Mm-hmm. And then like before the second day, I asked him. I was like, "Well, how you doing?" He's like, "I'm just gonna go out there and just punish people. He's like, just impose my will." And like he's saying it like, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're gonna fuck some people up."
He's serious.
Yeah, he's serious.
But I'm telling you, when we sit down with him in 2 weeks, the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, man. Listen,
That's what it's supposed to be.
Listen,
what?
Do not disturb.
Fucking
Wow.
Siri.
Oh, wow.
That's a whole different problem.
Oh, man. Siri just listened to the whole podcast.
How'd you like it?
Yeah.
How'd you like it, Siri?
She's running those Apple plugs. But listen, man, this is great, man.
I was about to say, like, on fucking Siri's note.
Yeah, I know. Thanks,
Fucking
Siri. I should
Dude.
put my Samsung over, man.
Fucking pleasure having you.
man.
Definitely,
Always,
brother.
man. All right, Barry White. All right,
Barry White, lead us out.
Yeah.
So, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The Voice.
And Rizzles, joined by
Kaz.
Let's go. Peace.